Audio has started. Video has started. Welcome to AF Continues, episode 135, a weekly podcast posted up every Monday in which we talk about video games and related topics. AF Continues is a member of the Tech Podcast Network at techpodcast.com. AF Continues is also posted on YouTube. I don't know which days. I try Wednesdays, but I completely forgot this past week, and I just posted it today. I'm like, oops, make this public. So, anyways, I'm your host, Stafa. How you guys doing? I'm with Ali,
Hi.
Kevin,
Hello.
the two biggest haters I know, and together they form the great Kali.
I had to think about that for a minute.
So, this week's episode segments include what have we been playing, some quick announcements. We're going to talk about E3 for our main topic.
E3 wrap up.
Yeah, just one video, one video, one audio, just one podcast on E3 because in the past we've tried doing like daily and that didn't really do too well. I feel like each day we lost listeners, so we're just doing one podcast this year, and hopefully this goes better. So, and after that we got some listener feedback.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's get going. Let's start off with what have you been playing, Kevin?
Sure, I'll go first. I have been playing a lot of WildStar. It's an MMO that recently came out. Similar to WoW, it's like a traditional style MMO,
Mm-hmm.
but there's a lot of improvements that make it more.
It's in
Fun.
space,
Yeah, it's sci-fi.
and
with
that's
some.
that's all they did. They just made it in space.
No, there's a lot more improvements because it's actually an MMO that I'm enjoying playing.
It's more action based, isn't it?
Yeah, so there's one of the biggest things for it is that combat requires you to do a lot of movement. And like if anyone has played World of Warcraft, basically you walk up to a character and then you just start pushing numbers.
And if you're close enough, you could hit things. And
yeah,
whatever,
and you start pushing numbers in a specific order, and it's so mundane that you can actually macro the keys, and then you just walk up to something, push a macro, and you're done.
I love macaroni.
Me too.
Yep. That's yep.
But with WildStar, it requires you to actually. It's not active combat like Elder Scrolls Online is, where you're playing kind of like Skyrim style. But it's active combat in the fact that you actually have to dodge your attacks, you have to aim your attacks, you have to time your attacks, you have to plan everything out. So there is still that similar style of pushing numbers on your number pad or your keypad to get all your attacks out, but you're not just standing someplace and then attacking. You actually have to dodge, and then there's things called telegraphs which are on the ground, and you can see like where your attacks will be. Sometimes it'll be a cone shape, sometimes it'll be a circle around you,
Or straight line.
and then enemies will have the same thing except theirs will be in red, and then healers will have the same thing except theirs will be green, so that way like where to stand to get healed if you're doing like a party dungeon or something. But yeah, so I used to play World of Warcraft, and I got really bored with it because it's just really boring, and it's
Not enough single player for you.
Uh,
Not enough Skyrim.
not really. I mean, I played most of
you
that.
couldn't see the acting.
Yeah,
Couldn't
it's
see the
so
voices.
boring. So, but I've been really enjoying WildStar, and in addition to the active combat, there's a lot of improvements to crafting and housing. So player housing is really huge. You basically, once you reach a certain level, you get your own housing plot, and everything about it is completely customizable. So I mean, you select your house, and you can buy different houses over time as you get more money. But then you can also decorate it in any way that you possibly want to, because as you complete quests, you get loot that is decor items. Sometimes you can craft decor items. You can get it as quest rewards. You can find it as in dungeons and things like that. And you can place these items anywhere in your housing area in any way that you want. And it almost has like a Minecraft level building style to it.
Kind of like grid bit, like
Yeah.
voxel-ish.
Not really voxel. Actually, I probably shouldn't say Minecraft. probably more like Little Big Planet style, like where you can just, if you're going to level editor and Little
You
Big
like
Planet, you can
pop things
place
around.
everything,
Yeah.
you can rotate them, you can parent things to other items so that they kind of stay together.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So
That's better,
this
yeah.
does sound a lot different from World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
'Cause when I saw this, I'm like, this is World of Warcraft in space. And
It's
you remember when we went to PAX East? That was like the first time
Yeah.
like anyone's ever heard of WildStar,
Yeah.
because like no one's ever mentioned it before. And then,
And then
like,
all of a sudden there's like this huge booth
Yeah,
there, and
this,
then
this giant booth in the middle of the entire
really
place.
big screen, loudspeakers, and I was like, what?
And like it seemed like a lot of
This is gonna
people,
suck.
yeah, a lot of people didn't even care. Like they're like, this is World of Warcraft. It's
Yeah, on the surface, like if you just look at someone playing it, the interface and the way that graphically it kind of has that same similar, it's stylized, very
Yeah.
clear cut, like vibrant
Well,
colors.
that helps with like weaker hardware, so
Yeah.
things don't look like garbage on weaker machines.
Yeah. So I mean, if you're just looking at someone playing it, if they're just going through a quest, it does
Well,
look
they
very
didn't even
much like World
they
of
didn't even
Warcraft.
show gameplay at PAX East.
no, they should show gameplay.
Did they?
In fact, I think it was playable.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, they should have showed that on the big screen then.
Like they
Like,
kept on showing
'cause-
like this country girl talking about something, and I don't even
Yeah,
know.
so that's the really cool thing about this is it is sci-fi. It has quite a bit of fantasy built into it, and it also has like a little bit of western. So like the music, like if you're walking around, there's some areas that have music that sounds almost like it came from the Bastion soundtrack. But then it mixes sci-fi and a little bit of fantasy together because like I mean you got spaceships, you got things and other planets going on. You've got the ability to
Wild
you don't
west
really-
of space.
yeah, I mean, kind of. But then there's some fantasy parts in it too. Like there's a lot of classes that are magic based. And the warrior class uses swords, and you got some guns in there. And the spellslinger, for example, uses pistols. And so it's I really like it. I've been enjoying it, and the biggest thing for me really is the crafting and the housing stuff. And the crafting is also really interesting because if you've played World of Warcraft or seen it, basically the crafting in there is literally you have the items, you click on the thing you want to craft, and then hit the craft button, and done. And you can, I think you
That's
can
so fun, man.
you can just queue it up, and literally you don't have to do anything with it. You just kind of like you have the items, and you just hit the craft button, and then it'll make it. But in WildStar, you can do that. But each item has variations and different levels. So like for example, if you're just wanting to create a fence, for example, you want to put it in your house, you can if you're an architect, you can craft these items. So you start with a base item, but then you can add additives to it, and then you can add catalysts so that it modifies. You have like a grid style thing that when you first start off, you don't know where anything is, and so you kind of have to like mess around with different recipes, mess around with playing like just trying different things, mixing different things together, combining different things together, and you learn new recipes over time. You unlock them just by exploring with the crafting. You don't just go to a place and then as you level up, you don't just learn a new recipe randomly.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit more involved. It requires more thinking. It requires more time investment, but it's not mundane like it is in previous MMOs. So it's really enjoyable. And then the cool thing that is I'm really looking forward to getting to the end game content is doing the 40-man raids, and then they have war plots, which are like I think 40 versus 40 players.
Oh, nice.
So, and then
It's like kind of Battlegrounds.
Yeah.
Like and
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
yeah, except you get like 80 players total in there.
What was the max in BGs on WoW? I don't
I
remember.
think it was like
12.
32 maybe.
Probably 16 each.
Yeah,
That
I
sounds
can't
about
remember.
right.
It's been a while since I played it, but
17.
arbitrary numbers.
Stop with trying to fit in.
But yeah, I mean, if you have an interest in an MMO and you want
And you have-
something that's
so-
refreshing,
so
And
you're
you have
saying
15
you-
bucks to spare every month.
yeah,
So you're saying the crafting is better than World of Warcraft,
absolutely.
but
Haha.
that has craft in the title.
Right, exactly.
How can it be?
So can you craft non-house things?
Yeah, so I mean, there's
Okay.
different.
Because you made it sound like it's just all like crafting. Just
No,
for, like
yeah, there's
okay.
different professions. I mean, it borrows from other MMOs. Like you've got weapon crafters, armor crafters,
Okay.
clothing crafters. You got
So what's the purpose of like estates and houses and stuff like that?
So in the beginning, it mostly is just a personal place where you can. If you're familiar with the rested XP idea, basically,
Yeah,
if you're
yeah.
logged off, you get an XP bonus for when you log back in.
So the more you better your house, the more
better your house is, the more rested XP you get.
That's neat.
And
Okay.
then in addition to that, the war plots, which I mentioned earlier, which was like the 40 versus 40 players.
Yeah.
The housing stuff kind of can lead into designing your own war plots as well.
That's interesting.
So as you complete dungeons, you get specific loot that you can use to build war plots. But there's like you have to be in a specific profession. Like as an architect, I can once I reach the top level of architect, then I'll be able to do war plot crafting and being able to customize war plots. And then there's different professions. Like then they also have hobbies.
Plot crafting.
And then there's different so in addition to your professions, you've got hobbies, which include cooking and farming, I think. So I mean, you're not just like limited to just cooking and one other thing. Like you can kind of mix it up, and then if you get tired of one thing, you can always go back and learn a different profession and start from if you get bored with one, and then if you decide to come back, all your progress is still saved, so you can always come back to things.
Is respecing easy?
Yeah, I know that as one of my friends actually is an armor smith and like a weapon and a armor smith and a weaponsmith, so he's got the ability to do weapon customizations. But then there's also rune crafting in the game, which certain items will have rune slots, and then you can add buffs to different weapons and gear. So there's a ton of different things that are just crafting and customization with this game. So there's a lot of, as opposed to other MMOs where it's just you buy it, you got it, end of story. With this one, you've got crafting for your profession, you've got crafting for your hobbies, you've got crafting for your runes, and then if you're in the profession, you can craft your own weapons and armor, and it's a lot of involvement with being more modern than other MMOs. And
well, that's good.
Yeah, it's refreshing. It's really fun.
Cool.
Sounds like you're enjoying it.
Yeah, quite a bit.
All right, Ali, you've been playing nothing.
I've played and I've had zero chance to play anything.
So you want to pass?
Yes, I'll pass.
All right. I played a few things. I didn't get to finish Transistor yet, so I'm not going to talk about that yet. Maybe I'll talk about it next week. But I played games, and one being Small World. You guys familiar with Small World?
Yep.
Small World's pretty fun. Because I purchased Small World, and I was like, okay, I need people to play this with. I posted a picture online, and people were like, we'll play it with you. And I'm like, yes, my plan worked. So yesterday, got some people together at school, and we played Small World, and it's pretty cool. One thing I was surprised of is that the game comes with a different board for how many players you have. Like if you're 2 players, it has a different board than if you're 4 players.
That's nice.
So like the more players you got, like the biggest one's 5 players. It's designed differently for how many players you got. So that's really cool. And basically, the object of the game is to take over as many points on the map, and at the end of your turn, you will collect money for how many points and all these other factors, and whoever has the most money by the end of the game wins. And I haven't played Risk, but from what I understand, it's kind of like Risk, except like in a fantasy setting, and with a few changes, such as you can purchase races, and you can only control one race at a time, and when you feel like you are losing control of your race, a lot of your guys are dying out, you can put your race under decline, and so you basically flip over all your tokens of your race, and you don't control that race anymore. You just let them die out eventually. You still get the money for them, but you just let them die out and you get a new race. And also each race has like some other variable to them. Like you get two cards. One is the race, and the other one is like it's like a class, I guess. So that
Something like a profession.
yeah, profession. Yeah. So like you could have like a diplomat or merchant or flying, something like that. So basically the race will have like a number, and that's okay. The race card will have a number, and then the class will have a number, and you add those two numbers up, and that's how many tokens you get. So it makes the game different each time you play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not going to get the same amount of tokens for the race, and you're not going to have the same status effects, and it's just really cool. I had a lot of fun playing it. I mean, I'm not going to like.
Is that a competitive?
Yes, it is a competitive game. Like you.
Is that like so you said it was board game, like. So you said you described it like Risk, so it's just like a big map with like different regions.
Yes. The map. I mean, it's just one big map. You start on any point that's like touching the border of the board.
Mm-hmm.
Except for water, like you have to have like a special ability for that. Not anyone can start in water. And so you start at one point, and then you can expand from that one point. All right, and then whenever it's your turn again, you can either keep expanding from there, or you can like pick up all your pieces and start from a different point. And
Yeah, see, I've seen the game being played. I just don't think I've ever played it myself, but I am familiar with the name. I think I may have seen it at Gen Con a couple times.
like Cody, who was on the show last week, he got the Ratmen, who have like no special ability at all. It's just you get a lot of them. Like they are plentiful in number. So Cody kept on dominating, like just sweeping the nation, like with his plagued Ratman, and like he wouldn't spread. Like he would just basically pick everybody back up and then just dominate another area of the map and just straight up kill all of our dudes because you need 2 tokens to take over a clear spot.
Mm-hmm.
Now if that spot has something else on it, like a mountain or something else, then you need 1 more token for each thing on there. Like a mountain would require 1 token. So you need 3 tokens in all to take over a place with a mountain. Now to take over somebody else's spot, you need as many as that as many tokens that's on there, and then like I think 1 more. So so Cody had, like I said, he had the Ratman, so he had a ton of people, so he just kept on taking over everything. But like his strategy wasn't really, at first it wasn't really helping him because he was just taking over areas, and he didn't have lots of areas.
Yeah, he wasn't locking them down.
Yeah, he wasn't locking down lots of areas
so
because
other people could just like inhabit them.
Well, no, he would have like a big stack of his characters on like a few areas rather than having a few characters on a ton of areas. So he wasn't making a lot of points that way. So he was basically just conquering lands and not really making much money. But
kind of like locusts going through a field, clearing it out, and then leaving.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean,
of course, that's Cody.
I don't want to like go way too much into detail about the game because I could just probably go all day explaining the game, and it's not really that useful to explain a game without actually seeing it. But I mean, it was a really fun game. I definitely recommend it.
Cool.
It's worth checking out.
Yeah, if you're free sometime, let me know. I mean, I know I was busy when you guys were doing that yesterday, but I'm definitely interested in playing it sometime.
We should do that.
I realized Cody used that like a similar technique in Smash Up. Have you guys played Smash Up before? It's a card builder game.
Oh, okay.
And
Super Smash Up,
like
Brothers.
Yes, Super Smash Up Brothers. So there's different there's different like classes, or not classes, but like there's like robots, there's aliens, there's zombies, whatever, different types of groups you could choose to play with.
Mm-hmm.
I think you pick two, but like he chose, I think robots and like something else like that. They're kind of like small but weak, small and weak, but many in number, and he did something like that. So of course Cody would do that. I know how he's gonna play from now on. I'm on to you, Cody.
Real quick, just want to like talk about Battlefield Hardline. I got into the beta last night.
How was it?
I didn't get to play too much. First of all, it's really weird that when I launched the game, it didn't like open the game immediately. It took me to the web browser.
Yeah, that's how Battlefield has been working since Battlefield 3.
Like
there is no in-game server menu, or there's no in-game menu anymore.
But that is just really weird because I was at least expecting the game to open so that I can like, adjust the video settings.
Yeah.
And then I couldn't do that until
the game started.
I actually got into a match. I'm like, okay, this is kind of dumb.
Yeah, there's, in my opinion, some good things and bad things about that system. I like it for the reason that you basically have an online hub for your Battlefield character in your game. So like if you are big into Battlefield and you play it so often, you have the ability to customize your loadouts, view your progress, see server status, and everything without having to be in the game. They have a phone app. You can, if you're not at home, if you're on any computer, you can just log into Battlelog, and then you'll be able to see all your character information, your loadouts, your server information, all that stuff. So that's kind of cool that you can manage all that outside of the game.
Mm-hmm.
But I do agree that it's really bad in the fact that you can't change any settings unless you're in the middle of a match.
Yeah.
Like if you wanted to change audio or video quality, you do have to start a match first and then wait for the match to load.
Yeah, you have to wait until you actually get into the match because like when I'm on the loading screen, like entering the match or whatever, it's like I can't do anything.
Yeah.
I can't even do it there and adjust while the server is loading up.
Yeah.
It'd be nice if they have like a separate like launcher, like a benchmark launcher.
Yes, I was about to say like, that would be perfect if they did that, so that you can change
it'll load up a little menu.
Yeah.
And then it'll be have like all the graphical settings.
Yeah, kind of like every Unity.
And then just like run benchmark or something.
Yeah, and then like there are some games
or apply and save or run benchmark and then or quit.
And there are some games that even have, I don't know if maybe there is a tool like this that's somewhere deep inside the folder structure, but I know some games will even have that launcher as a separate program that you can launch outside of having.
Yeah.
So that way,
like Skyrim.
Well, if you launch Skyrim, it still loads up the launcher first, and then you play it. But I'm talking about like, if you were to do that every single time, then you would load through your server list, launch the game.
At the very least, it shows up like when you load Skyrim, it has like the Skyrim screen, and then it's like settings and
I'm talking about that it should be like a separate program that you can run that if you want to, because otherwise, imagine like if you're starting a match. Then it loads the launcher, and then you say yes or okay or continue the launcher, and then it loads the game. So it's another extra step.
It's just really weird how they did it. I didn't really like that.
Yeah, it's gotten better. It was really bad when Battlefield 3, that was the first time that they did that, and it was really terrible.
Battlelog and stuff like that.
Yeah, but the one of the cool thing that I like about that is if you have more than one monitor, that Battlelog screen can become like a tactical advantage, like not an advantage, but a tactical aspect of the game, because when you're in a match, at least in Battlefield 4, this is how it works. I don't know if it's in the Hardline beta yet, but
I didn't see it.
When you launch a game, on the bottom of your web browser, there will be I forgot what it's called, but I think it's called Battle Screen. But what you can do is if you click on that, your second monitor becomes your map. It becomes your team status. It becomes your leader, your scoreboard. So that way you can kind of see your whole map on your second screen while playing on your main screen.
I totally didn't see that.
It might not be in the beta yet.
If I missed it or
it might just not be in the beta yet, but that's how it works in Battlefield 4, and I absolutely love that because you can see you can see all your information on the side without having to.
You don't have to like tab out or anything.
Right.
Well, not tab out.
Well, you don't have to like push M to load the map and then
whatever.
worry about people sneaking up on you while you're busy.
And then teabagging you.
Yeah.
But like the game itself, there's two different modes. There's one mode where it's pretty much kind of like attack and defend kind of.
Kind of
You have like you have the robbers who are trying to escape with the loot, with what they stole.
Oh, okay, so
and
payday.
and yeah, on a bigger scale.
Yeah.
And the cops are trying to stop them. That's one mode. The other mode, it's kind of capture the flag, but it's not really. It's basically you have the cop vault and the robber vault, and they're supposed to steal from each other. And
That's not how cops do
That's
things.
weird.
Like
Well, it makes sense.
the description is the cops are trying to confiscate the evidence.
You know what?
That's
A better
what it's-
idea would be if the cops had the evidence room, and then the robbers had their stash or whatever they're hiding.
It's not even a room. It was like I had to go to a parking lot, and there was like
A
this.
table
No, it was
in the middle of the parking lot
it
with
was
all
an armored car. That's the vault.
See what
the
they
cop
should have done is
vault.
like make it so that the robbers have to try to get through the police station into the evidence room to take back the evidence
And it wasn't.
or destroy the evidence.
It
or
wasn't
whatever.
exactly capture the flag either, because multiple people can. Well, like everybody can go there and grab loot and then come back, and it'll say you're
spend money.
it'll say you're carrying the maximum amount of money or something like that. So then you have to take that back to your vault, and whoever has the most money.
Is there
is
any
the winner.
actual noticeable downside to holding all the money other than you dying and dropping it all? Like, do you like go a little slower if you're carrying the?
I felt like I was going slow without money, so so I don't know. I don't think that
You should be able to sprint everywhere though.
I was sprinting, but like the sprinting compared to the other games I've been playing lately, it feels very slow.
Huh.
So, well, I don't know. Maybe it's like I'm used to like Titanfall and other games that are much faster and
Or you just jump around everywhere.
yeah, but yeah, that's pretty much the two different modes. You got. I was playing the one where you're stealing the money from each other, and at first I didn't know what I was supposed to do. It kept on saying you have max money. I was like, what am I supposed to do with this? And I saw people with
Can I
like,
pull up a buy screen?
I saw people with like big bags of money on their backs, and as they're running, the dollars would be flying out. And I'm like, okay, I guess I'll shoot these fools. And
you think that at some point, with all that money flying out, the bag would be empty.
No, it's like what's it called? Team Fortress.
Team Fortress, yeah. with
Intelligence
all
has been
those-
taken.
Yeah,
And then you just like leave a giant paper
paper trail.
a paper trail that disappears into nothingness as you're
Yeah, it was pretty much just like that.
no.
Can't hear what I did.
Can't hear what I did.
Uh,
And then your judgment lapses for a second. You go, no! Intelligence has been dropped. Can't hear what I did.
so basically, before playing the game, I was skeptical as far as this. Well, when they first announced the game, I was skeptical as far as this feeling like Battlefield, large scale and everything, because I was thinking Payday.
Yeah.
Like in Payday, you're pretty much like in a bank,
Yeah.
holding position with a million cops coming after you. But it is really large scale.
It's just Battlefield size maps. So.
Yeah, it's very large maps. It's like fictional cops and robbers, because the cops are getting into those huge armored tank type things with turrets on top, and
It's not fictional, bro. We're getting a militarized police in the U.S. You gotta recognize
Exactly.
Obama.
you don't know Obama.
You know Obama?
So yeah, like you got your vehicles, you got pretty much your cop tanks, you have your helicopters.
Helicopter tanks.
You have your parachutes, because I jumped out of I saw a dude like break a window and then just jump. I was like, okay, this guy knows where he's going. What? Wait, what's going on? Then he had a parachute. I was like, how do I get a
You
parachute?
just jump and
So-
then
Usually
you
push
just-
space.
Yeah, that's so I was like, I'll do this too. I just jumped out, pressed space. I was like, okay, good. Apparently the cops have parachutes. It's
Everyone has parachutes, and you could use them again
Multiple
and again
times.
and
Yeah,
again and again
it's
and again. And again.
standard issue.
They use the same parachute that Scorpio does in Just Cause.
Yeah.
But
You have that parachute, Scorpio.
So if you're afraid that this isn't going to be Battlefield, it definitely
is Battlefield.
It's Battlefield.
It's Battlefield with baseball bat.
Well, we'll see. I don't know. I used to be an avid Battlefield person, but I haven't touched Battlefield 4 in many months now, and I'm starting to care less about it. So I don't know if I'll pick it up.
Well, they
It's just- it's
fixed
becoming-
it finally recently, so
Well, I'm not so much worried about the bugs. It's just it's becoming less Battlefield, more Call of Duty. Like they're heading towards that more Twitch shooter, and that's why I don't play Call of Duty.
Battlefield 3 was kind of like that anyway.
Yeah, I wish they would kind of go back to the Bad Company style, which was, in my opinion, my favorite like stories here at least, because they have good stories too, some good single player campaigns.
Well, like the Bad Company 1, Bad Company 2 were like different.
They were different, but
Bad Company 1 was like trying to be. I didn't play Bad Company 1, but from what I understand,
It's pretty goofy.
it was supposed to be really goofy.
yeah, it's
and
really
then
funny.
and then when I played number 2, I was expecting something really goofy, and it was like really serious, and I was like, this is.
Those
not
are both
goofy.
really good games, though.
Yeah.
I beta tested.
I didn't
Bad
care
Company
for
2.
I didn't care for the Bad Company 2 campaign. I got
I
maybe
enjoyed
halfway
it.
through, and I was like, I don't care.
I enjoyed it, and then they kind of left a cliffhanger for Bad Company 3, and then nothing's been announced for Bad Company 3.
Because they're making good company.
Bad Company, yeah.
Yeah, I just kind of wish they would go back to the original Battlefield formula and not make it so bro shootery.
Well, that means less market, and
Yeah, I know.
you know they're not gonna do that.
I know.
I used to play 2142. Mustafa got that for me,
Yeah.
and it was really fun.
Yep.
When it worked.
Yeah.
That game was rife. Of
I remember
bugs.
you were like really angry. You were wanting to sue them.
Because like he got me it's like Northern Strike or something like that.
Uh-huh.
Like, and it includes like everything. Okay.
Yeah.
But I installed it. I redeemed everything, and it said I had the base game.
Weird.
And looking online, like everyone had this problem. Everyone that had Northern Strike, everyone had this problem.
Interesting.
And I was like, I'm not going to pay you more money
Yeah.
to get stuff that I should have, like. And like
Did you
seriously,
ever get that resolved? Like, did you?
I sent him an email saying, the customer service, like, I'll file this in the small claims court.
Yeah.
And like seriously, the next day it was resolved.
Mm.
The ridiculous thing, when I got Battlefield 3 Premium
Yeah.
on PlayStation, exact same problem happened.
Really?
Exact same problem. I had the base game, but like none of the expansion pack worked. None of it.
Interesting.
Like it said I had to buy it. Yeah, the literal exact same problem.
That's weird.
No, I'm not gonna talk smack about EA. I want to get hired. I need a job. I actually applied for a job opening.
At EA?
Yes.
Cool. What position?
Game designer. Come on, man.
I know. I'm just
Come
wondering.
on, man. Game designer. For announced game.
Unannounced game.
For
Let me-
announced game.
for announced game.
not unannounced game.
So it'll probably be Battlefield Hardline.
No, it's The Sims.
You know what that's gonna be?
I-
Like they were talking
Hey,
about
I
intelligent.
need a
people
job.
in-
I need a job.
Well, here's my problem. Sims 4, they talked a lot about intelligent Sims and stuff like that. But then, like, the caveat is probably going to be you have to buy everything with real money. Because that's
Maybe.
how it has been with Sims 3.
No.
You get, like, a handful of things and everything else has to be bought.
Oh, well, so
let's
moving on?
let's move on. I'm gonna talk about DreamHost real quick.
yes.
Talk about DreamHost.
DreamHost.
Because DreamHost is way better than Squarespace. Because Squarespace is for babies.
Squarespace.
Squarespace is
Squarespace.
Squarespace is for babies. So don't listen to Giant Bombcast. Also, GoDaddy is for idiots.
GoDaddy is for losers.
The GoDaddy is for people who like see the ladies on the commercials like, oh, you gotta get GoDaddy.
They want to be that guy who gets to kiss Danica Patrick.
Danica Patrick has gone all-star.
So don't get GoDaddy. You need DreamHost because DreamHost, I've been using them for close to 3 years now.
Yep.
I had no problem with them at all. But let me tell you about what DreamHost is. They are a web service. They offer unlimited storage, unlimited bandwidth, user-friendly interface. They are also optimized to use content managers such as WordPress, which is like the most popular content manager online. Like 1 out of every 6 sites use WordPress. I think that's the statistics.
You can't talk today.
I can't. You also use Content5, which is another WYSIWYG content manager, very solid. And many more features. You know, not just those two. There's many more features, and really easy to install those. All that just for $8.95 US a month. Use the promo code OUTOFCONTINUES. That's one word, no spaces, just OUTOFCONTINUES. It will waive the setup fee, get your free domain registration, and you'll be ballin'.
And it works.
It works. Yeah, ABAP, as ballin' as possible. You know, Kevin, he uses
I do use.
DreamHost as well.
Yeah.
And we got Professor at school, Todd.
Mm.
He uses DreamHost. He's the one who got me into DreamHost.
Yeah, DreamHost is awesome.
It is very solid. No issues. Check them out. If you want to start your own website, podcast,
check
whatever,
it out.
check it out. Out of continues. So, got a few quick announcements. First of all, please leave us an iTunes review. We could use a lot more.
You have to do like your little.
You went to Zen mode.
There's a beg to the
So we could definitely use the iTunes reviews. It's like one of the single most helpful things you do to help spread the word of the podcast. I mean, other than also sharing on your Twitter and Facebook feed,
Yeah.
that would help as well. But iTunes is definitely really important. So yeah, that. Also, we got new XLR cables on the show because
Yeah, buddy.
I've been noticing the quality has been getting worse and worse and worse each week, and I've been using. I'd have to apply the noise reduction filter, and I'd have to like make it stronger each time.
And that reduces the quality
Yeah,
of the
which
sound,
reduces the quality. So like last week, it sounded kind of echoey, even though the actual audio wasn't echoey.
Yeah.
So it looks like these new cables are, I mean, from what I'm seeing right now on the Audacity, it looks like it's pretty solid.
Yep.
So good thing it was just the cables that needed to be replaced, not the mics themselves.
That'd be bad.
That would be
You just
really
got these
bad.
mics.
Yeah. But
Anyway.
fortunately, it looks like it was just a quick fix of getting new cables and bam. Because I want the best quality for my listeners. And one other thing, check out Beware the Bully. You could go to StockFundHouseNeed.com/Beware the Bully. This is my game that I made. I talk about it like all the time because it's like the only game I've ever made. And
Gotta make an expansion pack.
yeah, and or you can go to Facebook, facebook.com/outofcontinues, and the link is posted up on top. Or go to outofcontinues.com, look at the show notes for this podcast, and you'll find the link there.
Yep.
So, on to the main topic. Let's talk about E-Frizzle. E3. So, yeah.
EEE.
Electronic
Entertainment.
Expo.
Expo.
Yeah.
Electronic Xbox Expo, right?
Yeah. So I figure
last year, apparently.
I figure we can separate this discussion to like 3 segments. First, we could talk about the conferences that happened at the beginning of E3,
Mm-hmm.
and then after that, we could talk about the worst games or the most disappointing things that we saw at E3, and then end off with a bang and talk about the best. Bang. So, obviously the conferences, there was the Microsoft one first, and then there was EA,
Mm-hmm.
Ubisoft,
Mm-hmm.
Sony,
Yes, those
And
are all
then-
day one.
Yeah, that was day one, and then that was day zero.
Day zero, yeah,
Day
because
zero.
technically the
And
floor
then
didn't open
day
yet.
one, there was the Nintendo Live event,
Yes.
or was it the Nintendo Online event?
I don't know, whatever.
Whichever one it was.
It was whichever one. It wasn't a press conference. It was
No, yeah, because it wasn't live.
Nintendo Online event. That's what it was. So that was basically like you see Reggie and Iwata doing like these anime fights.
Dragon, balls of dragon.
The Dragon Ball. It was more
Dragon
like
Ball Z.
Fist of the North Star. I mean, I'll admit it was goofy.
It was entertaining.
It was entertaining.
Entertainment.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was dumb, but it was entertaining. Like, did they really need to get the CEOs of the company to do an anime fight? No. But was it entertaining? Sure. Yeah. But overall, like as far as those 5 press conferences, well, I'm grouping Nintendo in just to make it easier. Just call it a press conference. Out of those 5, I think Ubisoft was the best.
They had the most to show.
Like
I didn't watch that one.
you missed out on the best one.
Mm.
It was like they just had really awesome things that excited me. I was really happy with everything I saw. Well, not everything, not just Dance.
Yeah, the only thing I care about Ubisoft wise is Far Cry. That's,
Well, like, okay, Just Dance, The Crew, Shape Up, those are the things I didn't care about, but, like, everything else. Far Cry 4, they showed the first 5 minutes of the game, which pretty much introduced the new bad guy, and he seems interesting.
Yeah.
Voiced by Troy Baker.
He has every voice.
Yeah, he is, like, taking the mantle from,
he might as well just
from
be,
Nolan
like,
North.
They should just take him and make an entire game where he's just the voice actor.
Dude,
Every character.
They did that with Nolan North already. It's called Mafia 2. Have you seen that video clip with the 2 pedestrians talking to each other?
they're both Nolan.
Like these 2 pedestrians are talking to each other, and they're both Nolan North. So
I love that in like Oblivion. Like you'd have 2 people with the exact same voice talking to one another. Beautiful day, isn't it? Oh yes, it's very good. See?
So I mean, like Ubisoft and Far Cry 4, The Division. Okay, The Division. To be honest, I was not really that excited about The Division before. But
really?
like, for some reason, they showed this cinematic trailer. It's not even gameplay. They show a cinematic trailer, and that got me more hyped up for The Division.
Yeah, The Division, I was pretty excited about it last year, but the things that they showed this year, I mean, they weren't that different as far as like the gameplay video, but it was definitely more exciting because one of the things that I thought was amazing about The Division was the new, like how the map works. Like it's like a hologram that comes out around you, and you see everything. And
Yeah.
I absolutely loved that.
I mean, like that cinematic. Did you see that one?
I don't think I saw the trailer. I'll have to watch that when I get home.
So you didn't watch the?
I
Ubisoft?
didn't watch any of the actual conferences all the way through because I was at work.
Oh, okay.
I started a new job, so I was.
But like
at
they
work
basically
during
had
that
this
time.
cinematic trailer that was like the beginning part. Like there's no people, but it was kind of like this time lapse of this apartment building as it's. As the whatever is going on in that city, like it's getting worse and worse, the outbreak or whatever.
Yeah.
And like a person, like you hear the people talking, but you don't see them. And then apparently one person commits suicide, and then like eventually gets thrown out the window. And then later you finally see the guy. After the time lapse is finished.
Yeah.
And then like the resistance people come in and like help him out, and I really liked that trailer for some reason.
Yeah.
It got me really excited. But like Assassin's Creed Unity looked really cool.
They're doing a lot better with Assassin's Creed too.
And Valiant Hearts, like they just announced this game. It was the saddest. It was such a beautiful trailer.
Yeah.
I mean, I really liked it. And
So beautiful.
Yeah. And then
It does look good.
Then they finished off with Rainbow Six: The Siege.
Yes.
Rainbow Six Siege.
I know a lot of people are excited.
I wasn't impressed with the gameplay.
Hater.
I just wasn't impressed. It was like I don't know if it was just like that faux gameplay type of thing, that faux commentary. It's like, what was that guy's name? Like,
Well, Ubisoft did that with like pretty much all their gameplays.
It's dumb.
With the Division.
like get that guy, he's getting away. I can't. It's like
Yeah, apparently that girl sucked because
it's like
every
banned. You know, that's what I would have done. Banned.
like the
Get
girl,
the scrub out of here.
the girl was like, either she was always like, I'm pinned down, or I can't do this. It's like, okay, that's kind of sexist.
They don't have chicks in the new Rainbow Six.
I think Ubisoft just has something going on right now because Assassin's Creed,
No chicks.
no female playable characters.
No female playable in
Far
Rainbow
Cry
Six.
4, no playable female characters. Like, I don't know what happened, but every single time there was something about no playable female characters from a Ubisoft game. It was we were inches away from it, but it didn't happen.
Yeah,
like, what happened at Ubisoft?
It's like we don't have the money. It costs a lot of money. It's just
and then
just make a skin. Like use the same animations. No one cares.
because that's what they do for even Assassin's Creed. Like all the female characters are using the same skeletal rigs, same animation.
Just use Nolan North's voice.
Turn up the pitch a little bit.
Hey guys! Whoa! Well, no, it'll be, whoa!
But like there was a guy who actually works as an animator, and he was like, "Yeah, I should only take them a day extra
It was one
to
of the
do."
it was a Naughty Dog
Yeah.
animator, and they do all of their animations by hand. They don't.
Yeah, they don't.
They don't even do mocap. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he said that's like a day's worth of work.
But I mean, like, overall, I mean, like, as far as the conferences go, I do think Ubisoft had the most impressive one, and the worst, hands down, EA.
EA. I thought you wanted a job.
Well,
I do, but
Yeah,
I'm
he's gotta be.
I'm
Yeah,
like-
I know.
Like they,
I know. I'm just messing with it.
they, I mean, you saw their
Conceptual
did you watch
prototype.
it?
I didn't watch the EA one.
Conceptual prototype.
Every game that they showed off.
Conceptual prototype.
Yeah, like they didn't show off finished game. Like, okay, they had Star Wars Battlefront,
Uh-huh.
and like they didn't show anything. They just had people talk.
They had like these AT-ATs walking like this like wireframe terrain. It's like, yeah, we're working on this thing, and Star Wars is such a good universe. AT-ATs like
Yeah. Like, okay.
it's just like complete wireframe environment, like no trees, just like sort
weird.
of.
I want to.
Then they had this new IP, which they didn't say what it was. They didn't show what it was. They just said that they're working on a new IP. While
they were talking about Mass Effect.
Yeah, they
What?
had Mass Effect music, and they showed Mass Effect stuff, and they're like, okay, we worked on Mass Effect whatever, and the other teams worked on the new Mass Effect, and we're working on this new IP. And they didn't say what the new IP was. They didn't show or say anything. It's just they were playing Mass Effect music and showing
like,
Mass Effect
it's
in the
like,
background.
we're working on a new Mass Effect, but we're also working on a new IP.
Yeah.
So we're just gonna keep showing you all this Mass Effect
No,
content.
they're
They
like
should
they
just not
said
mention
the
that.
other team is working on a new Mass Effect.
Oh, that's right.
So they are working on a new IP.
But they had Mass Effect content in the background.
Yeah,
It's like-
it's like, what else? Okay, the Criterion game, which they didn't even say what the name is. Criterion is working on a new off-road, like extreme sports type game with like ATVs and helicopters and whatever. Like the gameplay that they showed didn't even have textures. It was like that far alpha.
Yeah, yes, it was like it had no textures, nothing.
No, yeah.
It's like
What are they
we
working
really-
on then?
we really like cars and burnout games. and
Helicopters.
but we wanted to do something different, so we took helicopters and jet skis and motorcycles.
Let's see. Don Gates.
Here you go. Here's I'll pull it. Let me get this bright for you.
They talked about a new MOBA, Don Gate, and they showed some footage of it, but like all they kept on saying is this game is different.
Like it shows
Okay.
it shows them just like looking at like actual props for the thing, and we traveled in the snow for the new Battlefront game. We dug in the snow, and then we like look at it looks ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then we taking pictures that like conceptual. What does it say? No, the early whatever footage, and then where's
So this is more of just like This is what they should put in the making of, not
Yeah,
a
yeah.
presentation to announce a game.
Yeah, and then they talked about Mirror's Edge
Oh
too,
man.
and
Look, it's literally a wireframe environment. Let's go back.
yeah,
It's a wireframe environment. Like,
it was
working really hard on this game.
It was pretty much the same with Mirror's Edge 2 also. Like they like everything they showed was like the same white environment. And
Well, to be
like,
fair,
yeah, the game looks like that, but this was completely white. Like
Oh,
there was
okay.
nothing else. It was just a white environment.
so
it
let's
was,
say that Mirror's Edge has been kind of known for those solid colors.
but like
No, this
This-
was
this is like-
not done solid.
yeah, not done. It was like just straight up white, and like it was the same guard guy that she kept on killing.
I'm loading. By the way, I'm loading up the EA press conference, and then I've got a commercial for Far Cry 4.
So like,
Advertising at its finest.
there you go.
I mean like overall, EA was super terrible.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Yeah, it was really bad.
I mean, other than that, like as far as the conferences, like I'd rate it Ubisoft best, probably Sony next, Microsoft. Well, Sony had like a lot of really boring parts, but like they did show a lot of gameplay, which was very exciting.
Apparently they cut out some stuff, like that talking. All that talking. They originally had other games planned. This is unofficial, by the way.
Microsoft, they showed off a bunch of like they didn't show gameplay. They showed like teaser trailers. Like Phantom Dust, very exciting,
It was-
but like they showed
because it hits our nostalgia
yeah
bone.
for me and Ali,
Mm.
it is super exciting because we loved the original Phantom Dust.
But
and
it's like they showed literally like 3 CGI trailers back to back.
And like they didn't tell anything about the Phantom. Like people who don't know what Phantom Dust is, they're like, what is this? Like.
And then there are
What's
the
going
people
on?
that heard about it from people like us, like, oh, this is gonna be so good. It's like, dude, you never even played the first one. Stop talking like you.
Yeah. So I mean, like, I don't know. I think Microsoft they didn't talk enough about the games that they showed, like Crackdown 3. What the heck is going on? Like,
There you go.
is it destructible environments or something? I don't get it.
That's a Criterion game. It's like untextured, wireframe, everything.
Interesting. Yeah, see,
Um,
this is kind of stuff that they should be putting in making of bonus content rather than.
See, it's so bad.
It's just not
That
done.
looks like a game from the early 2000s.
It's just not done. It's like we're really excited to make this game, but you know, I drink in the pub while I make my game. You know, this guy's just sitting in the pub. They're interviewing him and stuff like
Oh
that.
my gosh. Yeah, that's dumb.
So yeah, Microsoft. I mean, what did you think about? Did you
Well,
watch Sony or Microsoft?
I didn't watch any of the actual press conferences because, like I said, I was
Yeah,
at
work,
work.
yeah.
But I did, so I kind of just kept up to like the news updates. I didn't actually watch anything other than the videos of the games that I was actually interested in seeing.
Get back with us. Stop watching EA. Stop watching EA. You're done. You're done.
Okay.
We're done bashing on EA. You're done.
I was gonna pull up the.
No, you're done.
Okay.
You keep on pulling us back to that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to move.
Okay,
I'm trying to
okay.
move the podcast
I
on.
was gonna pull up the Mirror's Edge thing.
No, I'm trying to move on. And
I'll have to watch that.
I closed it. I closed it.
I see it in
I
your
closed
eyes.
it.
You're like over there, like
Where's that? Look at all them wireframes.
EA. Dana.
What? Like Dana White?
Dana. UFC.
UFC? Bruce Lee. They had a Bruce Lee and then whatever. Let's go.
Anyways,
So Nintendo. I don't know. I don't feel like they brought it.
I was excited for the new Legend of Zelda game, and I might get some flack for this, but I'm considering getting a Wii U just for that. Yeah. Well, I want to get the. If I get the Wii U, it's going to be the Wind Waker HD edition.
I think the most exciting thing that they showed off was Mario Maker. I think that's a really cool idea, though. They are like 5 years a little late on this because Little Big Planet did that.
Yeah.
Well, the Wii didn't have the power to do it.
No, I think it had the same graphics card as the GameCube.
It was very similar. It was very
Yeah, it was
similar.
basically just a small update.
That thing had 48 megabytes of RAM.
Yeah.
Look, for the GPU, I'm sorry. but like it's like they wouldn't have been able to do any sort of maker. They would have just.
Yeah.
But still think it's a good
Yeah.
announcement.
I
But
thought the Nintendo conference was good, but there was a lot like
everything that they
everything was
announced,
2015.
like, well, yeah, that and everything is the same. Everything's the same. Like there's nothing new. The only new thing was Splatoon, and
I actually like how that looks.
it's a 4-on-4 third-person shooter. I don't think that's gonna last.
I don't think it's gonna last for them, but
All-
it's good that they're making something new.
Like
Yeah.
like
It's a new IP from Nintendo that looks solid.
okay, like I saw a guy on my Facebook feed. I met this guy at Casual Connect, and he's like, "Splatoon looks amazing. Time to get a Wii." And like, I just didn't want to be the guy to be like, "You're gonna buy a Wii for that?"
You mean
You know?
Wii U? It's like, bruh,
Yeah,
it's not
yeah.
a Wii, it's Wii U.
Sorry, no, that's what I meant. He said Wii U, but like either way, like he's like, "Time to buy a Wii U," and like I just don't want to be the guy to be like, "Oh, you're gonna spend your money on that for this game," But still, like I just don't see, like I don't see why you'd want to buy a Wii U for that game when it's a 4-on-4 third-person shooter. Like Titanfall was 6-on-6,
I think
and like people went ballistic over the fact that, oh my god,
Well,
it's only 6-on-6.
Splatoon
and-
is like small arenas though, like very small.
Yeah, it is smaller, but like that's it, just 4-on-4, and that's it. Like there's no like AI. Like Titanfall has those bots.
Well, the
Yeah,
thing
there's
about
extra
the,
stuff
Like,
in
so there's
Titanfall.
like a lot more action going on in Titanfall. Splatoon, I know I'm comparing like apples to bananas, and they're completely different things, but like
But they're
apples
still
to
fruit.
broccoli.
They're still fruit, and you can
Yeah,
have a favorite of the two.
they're both shooters, and one it has like 4-on-4 was like that's Xbox LAN party.
But I mean,
That's
Wait,
that's
well,
still,
hook up
like,
your
I mean,
Xbox together
that
and
game looks very fast paced because the way they, I mean, like, so I don't know if you've seen the footage.
I'm looking at it right now.
Like, you play these little squid people, you shoot
Mhm.
like your colored ink around like this level, and that lets you like jump into it and like swim around really
Mhm.
quickly. So it's like these relatively small arenas, 4-on-4, where you like just splat your ink around, quickly move to a place, kill a guy. I mean, it's very fast paced. So I mean, if it's made right, like Call of Duty,
Dude, Quake is
like-
more than 4-on-4. Quake is like a million years old.
Well, Quake, you can fly or like you go everywhere really quickly.
Exactly, it's fast paced too. I could jump all over the place.
And that works fine.
Yeah, but like Quake was not 4-on-4. Quake has more people.
Oh.
Like what I'm saying is 4-on-4 is like 4-on-4 was big on consoles a decade ago.
I still think it looks solid. I think you're too hung up on the 4v4 aspect. I think it looks solid.
I don't think it's enough.
I don't know
for
if that'll
an
pull
online
yes. See,
to make an online presence for the Wii U. It's
See
not
that
enough.
I'm kind of leaning towards Staffa's argument because the Nintendo Wii, like Wii and Wii U, have been really, family or casual oriented.
Yeah.
So it makes sense if it had a small party game that people played when they were together. Like families got together,
Yeah.
they'd play a Wii game. But the thing is that this would be nice if the Wii could actually handle 8 people on the same screen. Then I would understand having such a small number. If you have 4 or 5 people that are in the same room, you're at a party, it makes sense.
Yeah.
But doing it online, I think they should have done more people. I
Well, I
think
mean,
more
if-
players for an online game makes more sense to me.
that'll. I mean, this surely isn't going to be a full price game. I certainly hope not.
Well, it's Nintendo.
It's Nintendo. It's gonna be $60.
It's going to be 70. It's
It'll
going to
be
be
$50,
They're
$40
They're going to go back to N64 prices, $75, $80. But I mean, like, I don't think they're using this game to build their online community. I think they're going to try to.
And that's the problem. They're not trying to build their online
Well,
community.
yeah. I mean, at this point, like Legend of Zelda or whatever, it's it'll add consoles, but it's not going to It's not gonna, like they're just not going to recover.
Mhm.
Their projected sales for this year is 3.6 million consoles worldwide. That's their projected sales.
Yeah. Well, like,
So
okay, go on.
I mean, I just like these things are just like they're trying to, improve their current lineup of things. They're trying to, that's like their first thing that's been outside the box since forever. Like everything else is, Smash Bros, Yoshi's whatever, Woolly World. I mean, like those are all like, like even though everything's all like cutesy, yarn and Yoshi's Woolly World, it's like exactly the same gameplay.
Yeah, everything that they've showed is like something that's they've been doing for forever. Platformers, the same platformers, and there's no third-party support other than Xenoblade Chronicles or whatever it was.
And then Bayonetta 2.
And yeah, Bayonetta 2/1.
Yeah.
Which I like when they showed the gameplay back to back, Bayonetta 2 then Bayonetta 1, it just shows how ridiculous her proportions were in Bayonetta 1.
Yep.
Like her tiny head.
Everything. Like,
Yeah.
She had like spider
legs and tiny head, and then she actually looks like a human in number 2.
Yep.
But
anyway, I still
yeah.
commend them for going outside the box for once. I mean, that looks fun, doesn't it?
I will say it does look fun, but I still think that they should have more people. But it does look incredibly fun. Like I just saw that video and I kind of want to play that right now.
Yeah. See, I mean, like out of all the things, it was like Legend of Zelda and that I liked.
Yeah.
I mean,
they spent more time talking about Hyrule Warriors than Legend of Zelda.
They did.
If they
which
just
was
did-
annoying.
If they did 6v6 or 8v8, I think that'd be solid.
Probably 6v6 would be good.
Yeah.
Not a significant.
They'll be like, oh, we're not used to online games, so we can't do more than 8 players total. But like,
Okay.
do you guys want to say anything else about the conferences before we move on to actual games? No, you don't.
Yeah. No, it's whatever.
Nope.
Okay.
Let's move on to games.
All right. Worst games. I guess.
You want to pick out the worst from just conference by conference?
I think the Halo Master Chief Collection was dumb.
Some people like it.
Like
I can see why they did it. It's such an iconic game.
It was first of all, it was kind of like Nintendo with just showing off. Hey, look, we're selling the same game again. And secondly, secondly, they didn't even like remaster the whole game. They're like, we took your 6 favorite levels from Halo 2 and remastered those, and everything else is in the original engine. Yeah.
See, I think if they were going to go and redo stuff, they should have just gone all out and remastered the entire game.
Well, I think the single player they remastered the whole thing.
That's what I thought too, because
like you could switch between the original and the remastered.
Yeah, just like the Halo anniversary.
Yeah.
Like people,
but for the multiplayer maps, they only did some of them because the other ones they didn't want to change.
People get really excited when they think about Halo 2's multiplayer because they had a lot of fun with it. I totally understand because I had a lot of fun with it too.
Yeah.
But when they showed it off and it's like 4 people on the map, I'm like, man, games have changed.
Yeah.
This is how can people still get excited for 4 people on a map running around?
There's going to be online mode where it's going to be more than 4 people.
Yeah, but still, it's like the game has been dated by now.
People want to play dated games still. People buy old games.
They have rose-colored glasses on,
it's called rose-tinted.
Rose-tinted glasses on, and they let the nostalgia blind them until they actually play it. They're like, oh.
There were still fun games back in the day. It's an easy thing for Microsoft to do.
Yeah.
And people people will buy it.
It's like people who still swear by GoldenEye. People are like, GoldenEye was amazing, and then they play it, and this is like, how?
And it's like 10 frames a second.
Yeah, and it's like, how did I use this controller?
Yeah.
Like your analog stick on the N64 is like grinding into dust, and it's just like oh god. But I mean, like people will play it. They increase the resolution, increase the frame rate. It's more playable. I mean, games.
It's going to sell though. Do you know why?
it's-
Do you know why?
Because
Halo 5 beta.
yeah, that too. I mean, it's a good business. I mean, it's like Sony. They took The Last of Us. That game is like what, a year and a half old now.
Oh, the 100% spoiler trailer.
Yeah, they're you know what I mean. The whole they're doing that remaster thing because like they were pushing the limits of the PS3 when they made that game.
You haven't
So-
played The Last of Us, have you?
Nope.
Don't
The-
watch the trailer.
Yeah,
it's
the-
on, it's
yeah,
on-
I-
The trailer that they showed off.
It says this trailer contains spoilers.
It
was
has-
all
It has
spoilers.
every spoiler. They might as well just showed the ending of the game.
Yeah, I'm
Because-
actually I'm
They
thinking about
showed
buying that sometime
every
today.
single spoiler in that trailer. Like they're like, "Hey, this game's a year old, so you've played it, right? Here's all the spoilers.
If you
we're
could-
gonna sell this to you again."
If you could hold off until you or someone gets a PS4 or something like that and borrow, play the remastered version because it's got like the DLC and stuff and it's
Yeah.
1080p with 60 frames a second, so
Well, I was just considering like going to Redbox or something and
Oh.
renting it for a weekend for
that
PS3.
works. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever.
there you go. That's what I did.
Yeah,
Worked.
just to make sure I can actually finish it in a
It's,
weekend.
it's like a 15-hour game, I think.
Yeah, that's what I saw on.
You'll
on
have
Beat.
to like dedicate your weekend for it.
Yeah,
Be
Yeah.
like,
it's
this is gonna be Last of Us.
because
Yeah.
this game that game's not easy either.
That game
and if you play
is
it on
amazing.
easy, it's dumb. So,
Hmm.
but they added a new difficulty mode for that, like the original difficulty that they wanted to include. It's like called grounded mode. but,
1997 mode.
Yeah, like the AI is like super intelligent and stuff like that.
Huh.
Because like everyone complained about like the AI downgrade and stuff like that, and they were like, "Well, I mean, if you guys want it, here it is." So,
Well, go back to E3.
yeah, E3. Yep.
E3.
So let's just go conference by conference. Pick your
Go ahead. Okay.
two least favorite. So
Two.
you did Halo. What
Two.
other one?
You're gonna have to skip me though.
That's totally not my least favorite.
Since I didn't really
Okay.
pay too
Well,
much
you
attention.
you already said that one. So what else?
My two least? Man, come on now.
Okay,
I'm not gonna go two least. I mean, Scalebound was dumb. That was Devil May Cry.
Dragon May Cry.
How to Train Your Dragon. No gameplay footage shown.
Yep.
Devil's Thirds. That's one of my least favorite things I saw.
Was
all
that shown at the E3 conference?
Oh, are you saying like pick the two?
No, I meant for
period?
like the
Oh,
conference.
the conferences. Okay, all right.
Actually, okay. What we'll do is pick one bad one from each conference. Okay.
I mean, like it's pretty much like the ones I got highlighted here: Halo, Master Chief
Okay.
Collection, Scalebound, Crackdown, The Order 1886,
Okay. So.
and the last one I have highlighted is The Last of Us Remastered PS4 Spoiler Edition.
Okay.
Spoiler edition.
So that's what I have highlighted.
Okay. So those are all your worst.
Yeah,
That's all you're gonna say about them.
for the conferences.
Okay. Okay. So.
It's not highlighted because it didn't exist. The lack of The Last Guardian.
You were gonna say The Lack of Us, but then realized it was The Last Guardian.
Yes.
A plus.
The-
I knew that happened too.
The
Like,
lack of that, like we were talking before we watched the press conference. because
I was just
we went to the theater to watch this, and we were like pretty much betting on whether it's going to show up or not. And Ali was saying
I was like,
has
it's gotta
to.
be.
It
I
has.
don't
There's
think
no
so,
way
yeah.
it can't. And I was like, it is not going to show up.
Yeah,
There's no way it will show up.
That's
There's
embarrassing.
no way
It
it'll
really is.
ever show up.
It's embarrassing.
it's
and-
the Half-Life.
And
3 of,
like every
Yes,
time.
yeah, it's like the half.
it's
Well,
Sony's Half-Life 3.
well, Half-Life 3's been cooking in the oven for a lot longer.
And like he like every time they're like saying we're bringing this back or whatever, and he's like, it's The Last Guardian. I'm like, it's not The Last Guardian. It's totally not gonna be The Last Guardian. So yeah.
So my worst one from the Microsoft conference was man, where'd I have it? Oh, it was Fable Legends. It's a Fable third-person shooter. Like,
is that the?
It's like Dungeon Master.
yeah,
Okay.
it's
Like
it's-
one person.
Wasn't there one that they showed last year that was like a Connect Fable game?
That was a
That
couple
was-
years ago.
that was several
360,
years ago.
yeah,
I thought that was
for
last year.
360.
That
It was
ca-
an on-rail shooter.
Yeah.
Fable the
Um,
Journey or something like
yeah,
that.
Fable-
yeah,
that
that's what it
actually
was.
came out.
This one
Yeah.
is like 4 players versus like a dungeon master, as you said. You know, someone that like
Yeah.
places enemies. Whatever. It's not even an RPG. Like, you play 4 different characters with different spells, and like seriously, one of the guys was like an archer with like a fully automatic crossbow, and he was running around just like
Yeah.
and I'm like
Like that dude looks straight up Gears of War.
like the game, like the graphics look great, but if they it's just like running around, and like someone's like, I'm gonna use my ice attack.
you
and
don't want to get forward from
And then he's just like, oh no, the troll's coming after us. Reload. It's just like, oh my god, what is
One
this?
crossbow bolt
It-
has like 20 shots.
It didn't look like Fable anymore.
Yeah, it was.
Is
It was not Fable.
Peter Molyneux even working on
No.
this?
No,
I didn't
he-
think
he-
so.
No,
he's
he
not
left.
working-
He
yeah.
left Lionhead.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah,
thought.
he
I
has,
was
like,
there's no point. Why are they
Two
making this
Can
still?
Studio or something like that.
Yeah.
36
Working
cans.
on the
They
Goddess
can't
game.
studio.
They can't.
Yeah.
For Sony, let's see. I don't really have a game. It was more of just the whole segment. Can I say that?
Sure.
It was just the whole power segment. I just could not. Like, I know.
I didn't like the other part where they're talking about like just stats.
Oh,
Like,
the PlayStation. That's where they.
like
that's where
9 million people pressed the share button. Okay.
That's
What's
what-
that? What's that
yeah.
mean?
Yeah, it's that's where they cut out some of the stuff, but like just the whole power thing, like that or powers thing, that should be shown at like a Comic-Con. I
Mhm.
mean, I know that there are comic fans among gamers, but not all gamers are comic fans.
Yeah.
So
I mean, like I told you on our car drive back, I feel like that's them trying to like cash in on the fact that these pieces of literature are transitioning into TV shows and are being successful, like The Walking Dead and Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
So they're trying to do the same thing, and I like Brian Bendis. Like
Yeah.
I've read The Ultimate Spider-Man, and I really liked it. That's what got me into comics, and I'm not familiar with Powers, but I'm confident that it'll be good. But
Okay.
it was a waste of time. The Order 1886.
Yeah.
I totally was unimpressed by it. Like,
Yeah,
nothing have they shown so far has impressed me about this game.
Yeah, a lot of people commented about that to the like developers on Twitter, and the developers said that they like from like here on out they're not going to do like story-based trailers anymore. It's going to be gameplay like stuff. So I guess what they've been showing so far, like it's resonated that. Like while the graphics are beautiful, like the story and what they're showing of gameplay has not resonated, and it seems like they're finally realizing that, and they're going to show something significant for once.
Yeah, it's like, okay, this dude turned into a werewolf type thing, whatever that is. I don't know what it was.
It was
but
really dark in the movie too.
Yeah,
like
and-
the movie theater screen was like
all the blacks were like pitch black.
Yeah. So have you heard the term crushed blacks?
Yeah.
Like, because you have like let's say a limited like a limited RGB displayed on like a full RGB.
Yeah, it's
So you
usually
get,
just
like-
the screen probably wasn't gamma corrected. Or
Yeah, it
anything.
wasn't gamma corrected and stuff like that. So like all the white bright stuff were super bright, and all the dark stuff were just like pitch black.
Yeah.
So like this whole like demo, you're trying to see what's going on,
Yeah.
and it's just like it's
and
pitch
like
black in here.
the only thing I got out of that game is that it's cover-based shooter and there's quick time events, and that's it.
Yep.
And like totally unimpressed.
I like the idea of it. Like I think it's pretty cool that they're mixing in like Victorian steampunk-ish type of era setting with the shooter style. But yeah, I haven't been impressed with what I've been seeing with
Yeah.
it. Also,
Yeah, the gameplay is just it's like everything that like most people hate about like modern day, like just like cover shooter and then the quick time events and like
Yeah.
you got knocked down and like he's just like press triangle to heal. Just like come on, show us something good.
Yeah. I mean, as far as the conferences, that's all I have highlighted as for things I don't like.
Nintendo, I wanted to say Hyrule Warriors. That's more out of spite because like so many people are hyped about it. It's like none of those games are ever good.
It's Dynasty Warriors.
It's Dynasty. It's literally Dynasty
Dynasty Warriors.
and people are hyped for it. So that makes me mad that people are just like, oh, it's gonna be so good. Oh, it's got the Zelda that we deserve and stuff like that. Like you could hear the.
Zelda's actually fighting for once.
It's just like, oh my
yeah,
god.
because it's Dynasty Warriors, dude. Everybody fights.
Yeah.
Like they have like puppies that fight.
I was like, okay, so I mean, that's actually not my choice. Xenoblade Chronicles. So they showed it as like Project X initially.
That game looked kind of ugly.
That game looks terrible. Like the initial reveal, it looks it looked okay. Like they had like this huge scale. You could fly around anywhere in your little mech, whatever the heck. And
Mech, whatever the heck.
Yeah, exactly. But like they showed this trailer and it was like downgrade complete. Just like and not upgrade complete. It was downgrade. Like everything. Like the characters looked like they were ripped out of a PS2
did
game.
Did they even say when
Like-
that game's coming out?
I think 2015.
Like
That's one of the several 2015
okay,
games
like
they had.
you could tell, like even if they didn't say that, you could tell it's coming out at least by 2015 because it was in Japanese.
Yeah,
It's not even done localized.
Yeah, not even local. Like they were showing that at the Treehouse event. Like the Treehouse was like, they're showing all of their Nintendo games in depth, whatever. And they were showing Xenoblade Chronicles, and like stuff were like buildings were popping in like 300 feet in front of them. Like they were walking, and just like it just building would pop up, and like someone turned the camera and like started walking to the edge of a cliff, and like one of these like giant monsters just like appeared. Like it just faded into the screen,
What?
and it's just like, and it's just like, come on, this game's like, it doesn't look good anymore. Like the gameplay looks terrible. The UI looks garbage. Like you have this big ugly UI taking up half the screen, and like the animations are just, everything was just bad about it.
The characters look like a mix between realistic and anime, and it did not look good.
like they looked like they were pulled out of a PS2 game.
It looked ugly.
Like seriously.
You want to move on?
Yeah.
I'm done with the conferences as far as things I didn't like.
Anyway, and outside of conference, you wanted to mention
Devil's
Third.
Thirds, which looked hideous.
Dude, it is. Like, people are like, people are just hating on this game because it's a Wii U exclusive. No, people are hating on that game because it looks garbage.
Confirmed, the Wii U is the most powerful console.
It's just like...
Itagaki only uses the most powerful
Like-
consoles, so it confirmed Wii U most powerful.
like, I mean...
Oh man.
That game was not going to happen because, like, it was
Like,
THQ.
like,
It was
how-
originally supposed to be THQ.
Yeah,
THQ
but like,
went
how
out.
long ago
Yeah.
was it that they announced that game? Like 3 years ago or something like
Something
that.
like that.
And then it disappeared. Like it originally looked like a bad Team Fortress 2, but with like parkour, and and then now it's come back.
Look
And
at those faces, man.
Yeah,
Look
that's
at them.
really bad.
It's like PS2. Like,
oh,
Zone of the Enders
for
quality,
for
man.
the listeners, Ali is talking about Xenoblade
Yeah,
Chronicles.
Yeah, that's
Like,
what I'm watching at the moment.
You're confusing the listeners,
Yeah,
man.
I'm sorry.
Stop confusing them. Okay, we'll go back to Devil's Thirds.
That game
Devil's
looked bad.
Thirds,
That's what I wanna
like,
watch now.
It looked so bad because it was
Do you need to connect to the Wi-Fi or do you have unlimited data?
I have good data right now, so I'm
Okay.
fine.
in Devil's Thirds, it's a third-person game, but when you zoom in, it goes first person and like instantly goes into first person. So there's no like transition where the camera like transitions from third person and zooms in.
Yeah.
It just like instantly snaps into first person, which like
That's
looks
annoying.
hideous. And it also has like third person action, kind of like Ninja Gaiden. And so the camera was all over the place. The camera is like trying to stay behind them, and then sometimes it would swivel around while he's like doing the slashes, and then it'll like instantly snap into first person when he zooms in. It just looked hideous. The game itself looked really bad. A lot of the enemies were straight up standing there. Like they'd hold their gun at him, and they just stood there and waited for him to like throw an axe at their head. It just looked bad. At one point, an enemy straight up disappeared.
No, what happened is like he did like a down attack, and the guy clipped through the floor, and then he popped back up.
Clipped. It just looked so bad. Like I don't see how anyone can get excited. Like people are like, oh my god, this looks so fun. You're playing as this awesome Russian guy, and da 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 da. It's like, dude, this looks.
You're looking at it now. That looks. Is that the trailer?
Yeah, this is the gameplay trailer, I think.
It looks so bad.
It does. Like Rogue Warrior looks better than this game. I mean, come on now. There's just so many like generic third-person shooters that this game fits into that category.
And then there's random drumming in the middle of the trailer.
Yep.
You know, I bet the only
God.
reason why this is a Wii U exclusive is because that's the only way this game will sell. To make it.
Because they have got no third-party competition.
Yeah. Because like, okay, the same reason why what's it, the guy who made Stealth Inc., Stealth Bastard.
Yeah.
He said that their next game is going to be on the Wii U because whenever you make a Wii U game, everybody talks about it because there's no other Wii U games.
Yep.
So yeah. I think that's the reason why this game is Wii U exclusive, because that's the only way it will sell, because Wii U owners are thirsty. They are thirsty for a new game.
Yeah.
So they will get anything they can get. So they will get this game, and that's the only way it will sell. It's pretty sad. It looks hideous.
Oh yeah, and this interview is kind of dumb too. This guy's wearing sunglasses in a dark room.
That's Itagaki, man.
He always does that.
I know. Just weird that he's always like, don't wear sunglasses.
I'm ready to move out of Devil's Thirds.
Okay.
You want to mention something, or you want me to mention something? I got Doom.
Doom? Oh, they just showed a trailer.
Yeah, all they did was showed Cyber Demon, and they expected us to go, it's Doom!
I don't know about that excited.
Don't.
I think that's what they expected, though.
Please don't. But
it was just like they showed Cyber Demon. It was like really bad cuts, also like.
So the Star Fox was hinted at.
Oh yeah.
And like, I mean, they described certain things, and they were like, you aim with the gamepad, and this like, and like whatever, like there was like a couple pictures of like Miyamoto playing whatever demo, and it seriously looks like Nintendo 64 graphics. Like the terrain is like pointed, and like, that's a bit of an exaggeration.
So that was the new one.
That's the new one.
Because I thought like when they were showing the screenshots I thought
that was like the 64 version.
Yeah, I thought they were just showing off Nintendo 64 just to like get everybody all nostalgic.
That's
keep it true to the graphics for absolute nostalgic value.
Yeah, I mean it's like I mean, and he said it was going to be done like within Miyamoto said it was going to be done within a year or something like that. Like that game had like it was just like green terrain and then the art.
Yeah, but they didn't really announce the game. Like they announced that they are working on a game, but they didn't want to show off the game. I mean that's what I understand.
Yeah. See, I think that if they don't have anything to show, like like EA did, we've got a new IP, but we're not going to talk about it. I think they should just leave
Mass
it out
Effect
of E3
music in the background.
Because it comes to a point where like if you announce something too early, yeah, people will get excited, but then if it's not even close to release, people will forget about it, and the hype will die down over time.
Yeah.
And I just think that if you don't have anything to show or don't have anything to talk about, then don't mention it.
Everyone's still thinking about Half-Life 3 and The Last Guardian. So.
Well, I mean, because those games are there's there are some exceptions.
Agent by Rockstar. What?
Oh yeah, yeah. I don't think that's gonna happen.
I have Kingdom Under Fire 2. I saw a gameplay trailer. Well, not a gameplay trailer. It was just a trailer, and it said like it's actual in-game footage, and it looked like Kingdom Under Fire. But what's really like got me weary about it. Like I'm a big fan of Kingdom Under Fire.
Yeah.
Awesome series. To basically explain it real quick, it's like it's an RTS game, but it's also kind of like Dynasty Warriors, in which like you control the troops, but you also play as like this hero character
And
that
you can control the group, like
Yeah.
the groups of
soldiers.
soldiers.
So you're in the battle with your soldiers,
Mm-hmm.
like battling the dudes, and the better you fight, the better your guys fight too. So it's a really cool game.
I always liked watching. Like I wasn't that good. I'm really not that good
that
at
game
RTS.
is super hard.
I'm not that good at RTS. Yeah, and that game was hard. I'm not good at RTS,
like-
but I always liked watching you play because it was super fun.
But like, what's got me weary about it is that they said it's free to play, and at that point, I'm thinking, how can they make this game free to play? Like Phantom Dust, I completely understand how that game can be.
Because that game's like a card style game.
It's basically an action Magic the Gathering.
I
Yeah.
see.
But like, how the heck are you making Kingdom of the Fire free to play? I totally don't
You
understand
spend
that.
real money on units. Want to build a building? 50 cents. Want to build unit troops?
Oh
10
yeah,
cents
actually,
a unit.
I don't think you build buildings. It's
You upgrade your units. It's
oh
like
yeah,
there's
that's
an,
during yeah.
There's an RPG element because after you finish a battle, you get experience points,
Oh,
and then in
yeah.
between battles, you can upgrade your units.
Yeah, like you could upgrade the.
And,
it's
like-
like a upgrade tree type of
So
thing.
like, are they making the game so that first of all, they make it multiplayer focused? Because I really like the campaign of that game.
Yeah.
I don't really care to play this game online with other people.
The first one was really good.
And-
If you think about it.
Yeah, and no, that technically was the second game.
Oh, was it the second game?
The first game was this really bad RTS game that no one played on on PC.
Oh.
So, but like GameSpot said, Kingdom of Fire: The Crusaders
Uh-huh.
is like the best. When it came out, they're like, this is one of the best remakes ever. Because or no, was it not remakes, but
Reboots.
reboots. Because
Yeah.
of the fact that the first one was like this RTS that no one played and no one liked. But despite that, I just don't see how this can go well, and I'm very
Skeptical.
skeptical. My excitement level has gone down for Kingdom of the Fire 2.
Understandable.
And I also have Battle Cry. Did you guys see anything about Battle Cry? Like, it was announced before E3.
Don't even
Like-
know what that is.
Okay.
I've heard the name, not familiar
Battle
with
Cry
what it
is made by Battle Cry Studios.
though.
Oh, this is their first game, and basically they put out this like cinematic trailer like a week or so before E3, and then they actually showed gameplay during E3, and it is basically like the way how they describe it is Team Fortress 2 except without guns, because in this world gunpowder doesn't exist. So like everybody has like it's kind of like it's really like the style is really weird because it's kind of like Victorian but futuristic at the same time. Like everyone has like these blades and stuff like that. So when I was watching it, the gameplay, it looked kind of like a mess because it looked like they're intending for the game to have strategy,
Mhm.
but a lot of the gameplay also looked like chivalry medieval warfare, where everyone gets together and just like starts swinging and
Yeah.
oops, my bad, oops. That's what it looked like to me.
Yeah.
So how can you have strategy and tactics when everyone is like just grouping up together and just like
smacking on each
yeah,
other.
slashing around? So
You've been banned for team killing.
yeah, and the game's also supposed to be free to play, so I'm unexcited for it. I think that is the cinematic trailer,
Yeah.
which I mean it looks kind of cool. Like it has a cool style to it.
I do
Right.
like that style. I mean, as
Yeah.
long as that was actually representative of what the game looks like.
Like,
I do like
I
that
like how
style.
the characters look because
Yeah.
like I said, it's like kind of like medieval or Victorian, futuristic. It's like very unique looking,
Yeah.
and like the weapons look cool, but like the gameplay itself, the graphics don't look very good, and the gameplay looks like a mess. So that's. In fact, I think I covered everything all the negatives
So you have any
on my
negatives?
list.
You probably didn't.
I didn't have the opportunity to develop a list.
So
I can talk about stuff that I was excited for because I watched the things I was
Yeah.
excited
Mhm,
for.
yeah.
So let's go through each take turn going through the things that we really liked, just like the top stuff.
Okay.
Okay. You want to go first? Kevin?
Sure,
Since
okay.
You've
Yeah.
been sitting on the sidelines for a little bit now.
Yeah. Okay. So the one that I think got me really excited, Witcher 3. That one looks really fantastic graphically and just gameplay wise. I mean, each game has improved. Like the other two games, like the first one was really good. It was entrance to the series. A lot of people were kind of
sucked.
a lot of people were kind of skeptical about it at first because it was AAA game with an indie budget, but then the second game was just like massively amazing, and so I'm really excited for what they're going to do with the third one.
I should get around to playing the second
You
one.
should.
Now
It's-
that
Have you finished the first one?
I'm not going to play the first
Oh,
one.
okay.
I decided I'm never going to touch it because I played an hour of it and I was like, no.
Yeah. Yeah. The first one doesn't really get good until the second chapter. That's when it starts picking up.
And that's probably like 90 hours in.
A little bit. It's like it's a good maybe 6 or 7 hours until it starts getting good. But yeah, Witcher 3 looks amazing. I've noticed a little bit of like combat improvement too. It seems like when they were playing it, it seemed more responsive. Because the second game was also really fun. It was kind of followed. They had a very similar combat style in all the games where you kind of time your swings based on like the actual how it's where you are in the swing, so you don't.
Like in the animation. Stuff
Yeah.
Like that. Yeah.
And then they also have different stances, like you have like a heavy stance or a light stance, so that way you use different tactics for different types of enemies. And then there's also the different swords, like he's got a silver sword, and he's got a standard sword, and for different types of opponents and enemies. And Witcher 3 just graphically looks amazing, and that's
Yeah. CD
probably the one that was most excited for as far as like being able to see actual gameplay.
Yeah. CD Projekt Red's really good with.
Yeah.
I mean,
I kind of wish they talked.
It's amazing to see like these smaller studios comparatively
Yeah.
speaking, like crank out ridiculous stuff. Like
Yeah.
they're from Poland, I think.
They're Iceland, I think.
Iceland. Oh, okay.
I think
They won IGN's E3 Viewers Choice Award for the second year in a row now.
Yeah,
So,
they
Like they had the
Polish.
they had
Okay.
two guys from the studio there on with them on stage at IGN,
yeah.
and like they seemed very genuinely excited, and one of the guys was like, well now that we won this award 2 years in a row, we definitely need to make this an effing good game for you
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah, I'm excited, and I'm kind of worried that my computer won't run it because just looking at how it is graphically, I'm gonna have to. It's gonna like melt through
Yeah.
my table.
A lot of the stuff shown like
Your computer's gonna start leaking water.
Yeah.
like a lot of the stuff shown were shown on like mega rigs.
Yeah.
Like the Batman thing. They showed it during the PlayStation conference, but it wasn't until later that people found out it was running on a PC. Which I mean,
You guys
Yeah.
want to talk about Batman?
that looked. Stoffman and I were in the movie theater when we saw that. That looked nuts.
That
Yeah.
looked really cool.
Like they show like the super detailed Batman,
yeah,
and it's like,
when he
it's like,
and then it's
oh,
we're going all Iron Man, and then
it's just like,
and then it zooms out, and I'm
it's
like,
like, oh, guess what? This is gameplay.
Yeah.
I love when games do that.
Yeah.
Like Metal Gear Solid 4 did that. They had really great, whatever, like
Cinematic
character,
quality,
yeah,
yeah.
like and just like, Batman was just like, he just strutting his way to the balcony. The door is open, and
we've got to talk about that Batmobile real quick. How the heck is Batman so against guns, but he has like this super military weapon?
It's so that he can shoot through walls.
He is
and
blowing
concrete.
up cars.
Yeah.
He was blowing up cars, and I left a comment like, okay, on their Facebook page, on the Batman Arkham Arkham Knight Facebook page. They post a picture of the Batmobile, and they like list off all the weapons, and one of them's like non-lethal something, and then like I posted a comment saying, I don't understand how this is a non-lethal weapon when Batman was blowing up cars within the city.
Yeah, but he does that so he can clear a path.
And
He doesn't
like,
actually shoot
one
people.
person replied, he was like, he tries not to kill them with the shots.
Yeah,
And
that's how Batman always was. He tries not to kill people.
And then one person he replied with me with like a serious like trying to like like getting in my face.
Trying to justify.
Yeah, trying to justify. He was like, the Arkham Knight has unmanned battle tanks going around. That's what's Batman's shooting. I'm like, wait a minute. Unmanned battle tanks? Are you kidding me? How the heck does this Arkham Knight, whoever he is, we're assuming people are assuming it's Jason Todd. How the heck does this Arkham Knight have unmanned battle tanks just roaming the city? Like,
we will see how it actually plays out.
how do you afford that?
He's got more money than Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
How do you afford that?
Maybe he's secretly working through
Wayne Industries.
Regardless about the unmanned battle tanks, even if those are unmanned battle tanks, he is blowing those up, which are blowing up the cars around it.
But no one's in the cars. They're all parked.
No, there was cars driving. You remember seeing the cars driving?
Yeah, but he was. I don't think he. Maybe those are unmanned cars.
It's Google's new cars that drive themselves with no one in them.
It's like what's it called? Injustice: Gods Among Us. There's one mini game where you play as Superman. And you're fighting Black Adam, and you just start picking up cars and throwing them at Black Adam, and these cars are being driven by people.
That's horrible. That's so wrong.
Yeah, that footage was really weird.
But it looked awesome though. Other than that crazy, the fact that he's blowing stuff up with the battle tank. Batmobile.
Yeah.
The game looked awesome, and apparently it looks like they're bringing back like the Scarecrow glitches, or like the things that look like glitches.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that looks really cool.
This is the weapon of the enemy. We do not need it. We will not use it. A gun is a coward's weapon. A liar's weapon. Quote from Batman. Same guy that apparently uses tanks.
That is from the Dark Knight Returns.
Oh, is it?
And also in that comic, he has like this battle tank Batmobile, and he's shooting the mutants down, and he's like, rubber bullets. I swear.
What?
Like he is just mowing them down.
Who needs cannon anyway?
That's ridiculous.
It's like, okay, even if you're shooting rubber bullets with, like you're killing people with them.
Yeah, it's gonna hurt still.
So
but yeah, that was really really cool. Like he just stepped on the balcony and just jumped down from his building and started flying around. You seem to carry a lot more momentum while flying. So
that's good.
He was flying a lot faster, and he did several ups and downs to kind
it
of.
was really cool when he jumped out the Batmobile.
Yeah.
And then went back in.
Yeah, you could use the Batmobile. It's got an eject button or whatever. I don't know, something where he launches himself up and it gives him really fast.
That's cool.
It propels him really high and stuff like that. So it was cool.
Yeah, I'm very excited, especially since they delayed the game till next year.
The game looks nuts.
It's going to be a very solid game.
Graphically, that game is beautiful.
Yeah.
I am excited for Batman again.
Yes.
Arkham Origins, bad taste in my mouth, and
was it just the glitches
E3
from Origins, or was it the story?
It was the glitches.
Oh.
It was the glitches, but this E3, it's like mouthwash.
Yeah.
I'm ready. Do you have something else you want to talk about?
No Man's Sky
Yeah.
is the one game I think that if it turns out to be exactly how they talk about it, then it could potentially become my new favorite game of all time. And for those who don't know what No Man's Sky is, it's basically space sim, procedurally generated everything.
It's
Mhm.
like I think he says it's like an infinite universe. So if you keep
Yeah.
going, like it'll just keep generating.
Yep,
Because
and-
it's all procedural. So
And so it's really cool because it's not just space sim, like, planets are, organized in different ways, but you can actually go down to the planets and land on them and get out of
like,
your spaceship
everything
and
of the,
walk
on the
around.
planet is procedurally generated. So
And each planet has like a different style. I think they showed a video where they show like the different biomes of the different types of planets you could land on
Yeah.
and explore.
and like the underwater is procedurally generated.
Yep.
Like all the vegetation and stuff like that. The flora and fauna of each
Graphic
planet.
style looks pretty cool too.
Yeah.
I mean, like they obviously didn't make it very detailed because it's gonna be a giant world. and-
Procedurally generated
yeah.
too. Yeah.
but like the style that they chose to use
It's very colorful.
fits
Yeah.
very well.
It's very very sci-fi. Like
Yeah.
those kind of I don't know how to describe the colors.
It's very vibrant
Yeah.
color. But like the one thing that I really liked,
It's very exotic.
yeah. But the one cool thing that they announced was the multiplayer aspect of it. So if you get in a game with friends or other people,
Is it 4-on-4?
no. So you could potentially start. Everyone starts on their own planet first.
Yeah.
So you don't know if you are going to be 3 planets down or like across 50 planets away from someone, but you all start on different planets in different parts of the galaxy.
I start on planet Stop.
Planet stuff.
Well, actually, it would be Planet Staffa. Well, whatever your username is, because
Yeah.
it names it after the person who discovers it.
Yeah, and so everyone starts off in a different part of
Planet White Tiger.
of the universe, essentially, and then you don't know where everyone is. There's no basically it's not like a game where you try to meet up because you don't know where you are
Yeah.
in relevance to everyone else. But then it's very like survival exploration style, and I absolutely
Yeah.
love
you
that.
have
matchup
to
of-
you have to gain more resources
Yeah.
and whatever. And the goal of the game is to reach the center of the universe.
Yep. And it gets more difficult as you get towards the
as
center.
yeah, so it's really cool. Yeah, it's definitely. Like when they showed that. Oh, I think last year initially.
Yeah, they had like a
And-
really quick teaser trailer
and-
last year.
I mean, that was obviously
For the
something. Yeah.
VGX.
I mean, people were like PC, whatever. What's
Yeah.
coming on. So it's
and now
really
they
cool.
finally announced that
it's
it's
really
also on consoles, which is
yeah.
it's pretty impressive.
Yeah, so it's really cool. Really, really cool.
Yeah, and like I mentioned, if that game actually turns out how they're saying, it could very easily become my
Yeah.
new favorite game. Of all
You
time.
could tell that guy's like pretty passionate. Like that
Yeah.
guy, he want like we were watching it. This guy, he came out on the the Sony stage and he was like wanting to cry about it because he was like just this reminds me of like all the sci-fi books I used to read when I was a kid, and he rattled off a bunch of authors and this and that.
Yeah.
And he was like, I'm just gonna show you, you know.
Yeah,
So,
definitely super excited for that, and can't wait to see more information about that.
So apparently, back to Batman just real quick. Apparently that's Unreal Engine 3, not 4.
Oh.
That looks nuts for 3.
But yeah, they're probably doing a lot
It's probably
of
heavily
custom
modified, yeah.
work to it,
But still, it's pretty ridiculous.
because
you
they
know?
did start that before Unreal 4 was even available
Yeah, true.
to even like developers
Yeah,
only,
yeah.
like a developer part.
You got one, Staffa?
There's a game that I saw called Hex, Hex,
Mhm.
and basically this is an MMO CTG,
CTG.
or no, not CTG, trading TCG. Sorry,
TCG.
my bad.
Oh,
Trading card game.
okay.
And so, like, the video I was watching, he wasn't really explaining the mechanics of the gameplay much. I mean, I'm assuming it's similar to Magic the Gathering because it looked kind of like it.
Mhm.
But what made this game unique is that it's an MMO as well. And so, like, one of the things that let me get my notes back up. So, like, one of the things you could do in this game is have raids with like several players versus like a big AI boss.
That actually sounds
Card
pretty
game?
cool.
That sounds interesting.
Yeah, like,
I like
that.
that.
That just sounds really cool because like me and Adam play a lot of Magic 2014, and we do like Two-Headed Giant, and that it gets repetitive after a while because we're going against the same AI. It doesn't really change, and like if you're like leveling up your profile, getting new cards and stuff like that, and you're going against these these new boss characters, that just sounds really cool. They said it's gonna be free to play when it comes out. Right now it's closed beta for like the Kickstarter backers, and they're gonna go into open beta soon. And it's gonna have a single player campaign as well. One thing that they mentioned about the game itself is that the cards will morph. So their example is that, like for one example, a card might have like a guy who's like imprisoned, and then later can be liberated and freed, and then that person will show on the like it'll say like imprisoned guy, like that's the
Yeah.
name of the, and then it'll say liberated person, after you've freed him, and then it'll be like a better card. And also they said gems can alter your card as well, so that way it'll make your card different from everyone else's, like as far as the stats and all
Yeah.
that. And
So there's a little bit of a like Borderlands type weapon
Yeah.
element into
and
it.
they said that there's going to be like an auction house for like trading and selling cards. So it's going to be an actual trading card game. They're not just calling it a TCG. And I mean, it overall looks pretty cool. Looks like it might be fun if if it gets a big player base. And like the guy that was being interviewed in the video I was watching, he was trying to like emphasize the fact that it's a free to play game. Yeah, there's microtransactions, but he wants to like make it exciting and give the player as much bang for their buck, because like for their booster packs are $2, but you get like 15 cards in them. So that's
Yeah.
that's way more than like other games. Like
Yeah.
Hearthstone's like $1. I think it's $2 for 5 cards.
Yeah.
And so huge difference in that. And like he said that like one thing he loves about trading card games is like opening up the package, and you get the sound, and
Yeah.
you get to smell the cards and all that. He's like, you can't do that with digital, but he tried to make it as exciting as possible to open up these booster packs so that you're excited to open these up. So I mean, it sounds like the devs are really into this. They want to make something really cool. It sounds really cool, like especially the raids.
Yeah, I was
part.
about to say I like that
Like-
idea a lot.
Like
actually.
that sounds very interesting, and I hope if this gets really popular, I might get into it.
Yeah.
It sounds really cool.
You said it was called Hex.
Hex, Hex.
Look
Like
into
their
that.
website's like hextcg.com, something like that.
I will look into that.
You got a game, Ali?
Yeah, I was gonna say Sunset Overdrive.
That looked really cool.
That looks really fun. That's Insomniac's new game. It's like an open world. I don't know how to describe it.
It's like Ratchet and Clank mixed with Dead Rising.
yeah. So like you're in this open world and you're killing these like mutant things, but you've got like Insomniac's like signature like ridiculous weapons that do really weird.
I really like the trailer that they showed at the Microsoft press conference, because like a few trailers before, we were watching Call of Duty, and then they show this, like they started off like making it look like Call of Duty. I'm like, not another one of these. and then the dude comes bashing in. He's like, so your power is cover fire, huh?
yeah. This guy was like shooting these other guys and
And then when he like
he
cleared
like
the
ran
place,
out of ammo, whatever, and this guy busts in. He's like, so your power must be a cover fire, right?
And,
huh?
yeah,
He's
and
like,
then when he clears the place, he's like, you and your crate are safe.
and then it was really funny because like that game looks amazing though. Like they've got like a lot of special effects, and it's very colorful and vibrant. So it's got a really nice art style. But like just Insomniac's weapon design is anytime they go outside the realm of reality, which is quite often, they make these ridiculous weapons that are like really fun to use.
Quite often, like all the time.
I mean, like
even that one game that came out,
Fuse or whatever.
Fuse. That like
I mean, that was like
they still had like
Activision tried to make that dude bro, and they had to like change because their original designs look.
But they still like, as far as the weapons, still
like
try to be creative with them.
Yeah, but I mean, it's really cool. So I mean that looks really fun and something that good pickup for Xbox One.
Yeah, I don't see that coming to PC because Insomniac has done like 0 PC games ever.
Yeah.
I mean, since we visited the Microsoft press conference, that Ori and the Blind Forest.
Yeah. I'll go ahead and lump in Inside as well, made by the Limbo guys, Playdead. I thought that looked interesting.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Limbo.
I'm not either.
Are you, Kevin?
I liked it.
Because you hate bad things.
Yes, I do hate bad things.
That came out wrong. You like bad things. I was thinking you like bad things and you hate everything at the same time.
I noticed from the show notes you put hate for
for my game. Like,
yeah,
people like hate.
Yep. Phantom Dust.
That got me hyped, but then they did not show anything.
Like when the guy was talking about how they rebooted Killer Instinct, and then they showed the 5 icons about like Phantom Dust, E3's over, Phantom Dust, and I was watching a video with on Rev3, and the guy's interviewing that same person who made the announcement and 2 other dudes, and they're not working on the game. They're the higher ups who got the game green on it, but they seem really excited about Phantom Dust. They generally seem like huge fans of the game. Like at one point they started talking about like the different arsenals and which one, like the few that seem like they're OP.
So they know it really well.
Yeah, like they're like, for the most part the game's balanced, but there's a few that were overpowered and need to be tweaked, and like they just seem like they're really big fans of the game. They genuinely want a fun Phantom Dust to be released, and the guy who made the announcement, I don't remember any of these guys' names, but he said that when he's been pitching this to Phil Spencer for years, and Phil Spencer knows that this game did not sell well. So usually when a game gets greenlit, the first question is how much did the original make, or how much did the last game make? And he said that Phil Spencer didn't even ask for this one because he already knows the game didn't even sell well, but like he knows that this dude was bugging him for years, make a new Phantom Dust, and so
that makes me kind of, what if they, I mean, like, I guess it could work as a free to play, but I don't know. For me, it's always like, if I could buy the game outright, I'd rather have that option.
Well, like the guy he got asked about free to play, and like he said, look, I'm not gonna talk about the specifics about this game as far as the pay model, but he said that with Killer Instinct, the reason why they chose that model is because like they wanted as many people to play that game as possible. They want, like, okay, if you want to just buy one character for $5 and then have as much fun as you want with that game, great, as long as we get more people playing the game. And then eventually, if you want to buy all the characters, then just unlock the whole game. But like he said, he wants the same thing with Phantom Dust. He wants as many people to play this game as possible and have fun with it, and not make it so that they try to make as much money out of this game as possible. They want as many people to play this game as possible, and people have fun, so that it becomes a game that everyone knows and really enjoys.
Yep.
Okay.
So like just them explaining all that, it got me more excited for Phantom Dust. I'm looking forward to this, and hopefully it's going to be an awesome game.
Okay.
Another announcement: it's not really a new game, but Grand Theft Auto 5 finally for next gen or current gen actually and PC.
Such a hater.
Thanks for beta testing.
I won't say it. I won't say it.
You already said it
You
like
already did say it.
80 times. You said on the show before multiple times.
Dude, you know what was ridiculous? I don't know if I told you, but like people, like this dude was like, it was like, you know, console whatever plebs have been, you know, like owned again, like, and he took like a screenshot from the trailer, like PC footage, and then he put like, you know, there was like the PS3 footage next to it, and it was like, you know, console owners lose again or whatever. Like that trailer it says, you know, like
This is from PS4.
footage from a PS4. It's just like, I'm like, come on.
Yeah, well, I'm excited that they're actually making the effort of making it better too, and not just like here's a port.
Yeah, they've added a lot of things.
Because they're increasing like population density, adding some
like,
other effects.
yeah,
Lighting is better.
Yeah, population and traffic. They've added new both flora and fauna. So there's
Yeah.
like new animals, like there's cats and dogs that'll walk around.
Mm-hmm.
There's like instead of just like having textured, you know, grassy area, it's like actual grass.
Yeah.
Um,
But that's one thing that I was excited
increased
for.
draw distance, that sort of thing.
Yeah, and main thing was like for me, I played Watch Dogs for a little bit, and I was very disappointed with the final result in comparison to what they originally showed.
The reveal
Because,
looked amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at it, I mean, Chicago is not a small city. It's not going to be that unpopulated as they have it in the game. Like this, you walk down a street and there's like maybe 3 or 4 people walking.
Yeah.
Not very many cars.
Chicago
not
in
much
real
traffic.
life is packed.
Yeah. So I didn't feel that Watch Dogs was actually next generation like they advertised it to be. But now with Grand Theft Auto 5 and the things that they've shown and the updates that they're doing, I think
They've
that's
done a
finally a true next gen game.
I'm gonna double dip.
Yeah.
I'm gonna double dip
I'm
because I mean
excited
like
for it.
they even like
That's bad hygiene.
Yeah, I know. But like even the cars, like
Yeah.
the interior of the cars in 5, they were just like textures. You know? They actually modeled like all the the speedometer and the tachometer, or not the tachometer,
There's a speedometer.
the tachometer,
the
yeah,
tachometer,
not the odometer. The
Yeah.
odometer
Man.
probably can't even see. But anyway, like everything is just
All
like
we know the meters.
Yeah.
All the meters.
Basically, when you're driving in first-person view, you'd be able to see the
you
dashboard.
could actually see, yeah. So I mean, like they put a lot of effort into it, and I mean it's typical Rockstar.
Yeah.
Like
They do good work.
They do as much
Lots-
as they can. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean like the port for Grand Theft Auto 4 wasn't too well,
Yeah.
but they didn't really have a dedicated PC team.
Right, and I think they did hire for PC like development a little while ago.
Yeah, for the GTA
So,
5. Yeah.
So they finally have a dedicated team, and finally making a good next.
And it's ridiculous to see what hardware constraints are holding these guys back from, because like
To be honest, I mean I can see the issue of releasing a game for previous gen to current gen, but I think that the current gen games should not have any issues being ported to PC because they're basically running on the same architecture, same hardware as
X64, that sort of
it's
thing.
all it's all the same. Consoles are literally just PCs now, and they're just in a smaller form factor and with their own operating system. So I mean, I don't see from now on, like after this generation, I don't see why there would be a problem with porting games.
And hopefully, I mean, like I don't know, I'm really excited for it.
Yep, me too.
And you could I mean, that's not really relevant to you, but anyone who's had, an online character for, the PS3 or 360 version, you could transfer it up to.
That's cool.
I think any version. I know.
I think so too. Yeah,
I know.
it's just-
Sony announced.
Well, Sony announced for themselves. They're not gonna say, "Oh, you can port it to those guys too." But
Yeah, Sony was like, you could port the the 360 or PS3 one up to the PS4.
That's cool.
So
That's actually nice.
But yeah, it looks really cool. So you said GTA 5.
Yep.
Man, what was I gonna say? I had it.
I want to talk about Homefront 2 real quick.
Okay, go ahead. Well,
Have you guys looked at that at all?
I have not.
I saw it. Looked really good.
It looked really
it looked
cool.
It's a lot better than. It looks a lot better than the original.
It kind of reminded me of Metro, except open world, you
Yeah.
know, rather than like loading.
It seems kind of more RPG. I don't know if there's actually RPG elements, but it looks like there's some.
From what I saw, first of all, there's some puzzle solving, and
Mhm.
there's some stealth,
Hmm.
which is cool. Because the first one was trying to be Call of Duty, you know, just running
it
guns,
was
shooting, and
not
all that.
great.
There's some gun customization, and it looked very much like Crysis. You know, when you like customize your gun, you do that like you,
Yeah, it kind of comes out.
and then you have like everything you could change. It looked exactly like that because you know this is
the same engine, I think.
yeah, that and you know they're Crytek UK.
Yeah.
So you know, not the same studio, but still.
Subsidiary.
Yeah. Where'd it go? I just moved. Okay. They straight up said they don't want the player to charge in guns blazing. They want the player to think about things before
good.
they do stuff, which is
That's-
definitely really good.
Yeah.
There's a lot of scavenging and constructing items.
Constructing. So there's a crafting
Yeah.
system in there
Yes.
too now? Ooh.
Yes. Like they showed off the guy like crafted a new gun. He also crafted a little like spy drone thing that you know,
Fascinating. I'm going to take a note of this.
it looked really cool. Also, okay, like the spy drone you could use that for recon, and like he eventually blew it up and made like an explosion far off when he did it. You can call in resistance, like the resistance fighters, to make like either distractions or help you out in missions. And like overall, like what I saw from that gameplay demo, it reminded me like you know, like I said, of Metro or like Riddick, because you know it had stealth, you know, it had like a lot of options to do things differently, and it just looked really cool.
Yeah. I wanted to mention shortly, if everything they claimed is true, Uncharted 4 looks nuts, because like
Liam Nielsen.
he did look like Liam Neeson, but anyway, like a lot of people have analyzed the footage and stuff of that they showed,
Mhm.
and not only that, but like developers have said that this is like real like code running on a PS4,
Mm-hmm.
like actual 3D rendering. So I mean, obviously it's like cutscene quality, because like you know
Yeah.
you could swap out models for you know
Mhm.
if you want a close up of the face, and like during gameplay you're obviously not going to use the highest quality face, 'cause
Yeah.
you're not going to see it most of the time.
Right.
But I mean they you know like it looks nuts. Like I thought it was CG.
Well, like other than the graphics, I feel like the tone that they're going with,
Is a lot more somber.
yeah, because it kind of seemed to go more with like The Last of Us.
Yeah.
So that itself is exciting to me because it seems like they're trying to make it, you know, they're trying to change the direction just a little bit, just enough to change it up.
Not necessarily make it more serious, but to make it more grounded.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Like so you connect better.
Yeah, and
Because like the Last of Us wasn't super serious,
Yeah.
but like you know you had that connection of like different characters going on and stuff like that. So what's his Neil Druckmann he's one of the Last of Us guys, and Bruce Straley, he is the director for Uncharted 1 and 2.
Mhm.
They're working together on Uncharted 4, so it seems like it's going to be really good.
I mean, like, I know that trailer did not show much at all, but just from like the dialogue and like, you know, they're setting
Yeah.
things up, it made me excited for Uncharted 4 because like after playing Uncharted 3, I'm done with this. Like, I don't need another Uncharted,
Yeah.
and I did not care to play Golden Abyss because it kind of sucked. Like playing an hour of it and it's telling me to like spin a helmet around with a touchscreen and brush off the dirt. I was like, this is so dumb. But now, like, you know, just this simple trailer just got me, you know, reinvigorated and excited for that again. So I'm looking forward to it.
That's all I pretty much had to say. I mean, like I thought I was like before I was.
That's not all you had to say. Otherwise, you wouldn't continue.
Okay. All right. Let's go. Next one then. Let's go.
You're like, that's all I had to
That's
say. You want to
Sure.
list something?
Elite Dangerous is another game that they kind of showed not too much of because it's still really early in alpha stages. But Elite Dangerous is another space sim game.
Mhm.
Since Space Sim took like a huge leap this recently. Elite Dangerous is it takes place in the entire Milky Way galaxy. So it's 1-to-1 scale of the entire Milky Way galaxy. And
That's interesting.
yeah, so every star that
Prove it. Prove that's 1-to-1 scale.
wait till the game comes out. I can't show it to you right now. But flight mechanics in that game look really well done. Again, there's not much information because it's still pre-alpha at the moment. Like, it's still like really early alpha right now. But every star that you see in that game can be traveled to. It has, and I think it's all based on, a lot of it especially is based on actual charts of that NASA has. I think they're working with someone from NASA to get like those charts and everything.
That's interesting because did not even hear about any of. You mentioned Elite Dangerous, so I looked it up a little bit, and I didn't hear any of that stuff. Like the only stuff that I heard of was there's like dogfighting if you want it, but there's also a lot of exploration if you want it.
Yeah, so it kind of falls back to just a standard space sim where you can do a lot of exploration, you can do the market trading, you can focus on combat, you can do a lot of it's generic space sim style game. But the impressive part about it is, graphically it looks really amazing. I love what they're doing with the star map and like how you interact with the map and how you warp and travel to different stars. And then on top of that, just the fact that you've got a 1-to-1 open space. It is the Milky Way galaxy 1-to-1, and just being able to explore space that way seems really interesting. And I'm going to be going into the beta once that's available because I bought the $100 backer part. I mean, if the game is going to be $50, then like all the expansions. This is like almost like Battlefield Premium, where you have access to all the expansions that come out. It's also another $50. But that's definitely something I'm looking forward to. Just I mean, Star Citizen, they showed a little bit more about that, but like, with Star Citizen coming out, Elite Dangerous coming out, No Man's Sky.
Did you?
There was one more space sim that I'm missing.
There's one that they announced called Dreadnought. Did you see that?
I don't think I've seen that one.
Dreadnought is like, rather than smaller ships, you play a giant battleship.
Yeah, those are. I'm guessing because those ships are called Dreadnought ships.
Yeah.
Like based off of the actual.
Like all I saw was like a CG trailer, but
yeah.
I mean, apparently some people are excited for that one.
What I want is No Man's Sky, Elite Dangerous, and Star Citizen just combined into one massive game. That'd be ideal because they all have really good things that they're each doing.
Don't lie, you just want to be in a virtual reality, put on the Oculus, and just be like, never get out.
He's gonna be a lawnmower, man.
Just live in your virtual outer space.
Yeah, that's.
You don't want to go to real outer space because it's dangerous. You just want to stay safe in your home and be in your virtual outer space.
One of these days that will be available, and I'm going to go into that, and that's it. My life will be complete.
Just gotta hook up IV and a catheter.
Let's talk about some Mortal Kombat X.
Dude,
Mortal Kombat X.
I've never really liked Mortal Kombat, but like watching that was nuts, man.
Like the entire
the
time,
whole like movie theater was like,
oh! I was like, yes, just like I was so excited.
It was nuts, man. It, like just like it's a combination of the graphics of like the move set and stuff. Like Sub-Zero, he did that like back step, leave like the clone of his like thing.
And then he threw it.
He was just like, I'm gonna throw this at you. And Scorpion's like, oh. I'm like, oh, that's so cool.
From what I've gathered, the game takes place like 20 or so years after the last Mortal Kombat game, because one of the new characters they announced, Casey Cage, she is the daughter of Johnny Cage and Sonya Blade, and she is a full-grown adult.
It's like fan fiction right there.
Yes, it is. It might as well be. And like the thing is, like she has like Johnny Cage's personality. So
Of course.
yeah, so that's gonna be interesting. Like she's like over there chewing bubble gum and blowing bubbles and all that stuff, and like just being like, oh, just like being cocky and everything.
Yeah.
So, and there's also another character, Kotal Khan, who is Shao Kahn's descendant, but like I couldn't find any information on how far of a descendant he is, like whether he is his son, grandson, great grandson, because I don't know how old Shao Kahn is. Shao Kahn could be like 1,000 years old. You know what I mean?
I don't actually know.
Do you know what I mean? Like Shao
Yeah,
Shao
he's-
Kahn
I
could
don't play.
Because I don't think they've ever really given a.
Yeah, like Shao Kahn doesn't have I don't know what his age is, so I don't know.
But he's
how,
been the same guy for generations, so.
Yeah, so this Kotal Khan is a new character who's a descendant. So this game takes place at least 20-something years after Mortal Kombat, the last Mortal Kombat game. So because of Casey Cage, and but it looks really cool. They got a bunch of new characters that's gonna be fun,
Yeah.
and they are taking the environmental hazards from Injustice.
Mhm.
Except they said they're trying to balance it out, because in Injustice there's environmental hazards, and like not everybody would react to them the same. Like for example, there'd be like in the Fortress of Solitude level that you'd see Superman's spaceship, that he rode when he was a baby.
Yeah.
Batman, the way how he'd interact with it is he would jump on it and jump off and like pretty much go to the other side of the screen.
Uh-huh.
Superman, on the other hand, since he has super strength, would take it and bash somebody with it. So, there's a huge difference as far as,
So they're gonna
balance.
Balance the environmental hazards.
Basically, everybody's going to do the same things.
Yeah, to make it fair, yeah.
To make it fair. And also, the cooldown is going to be a lot longer for these things as well, because like in Batman's lair, not Batman, in the Justice League Watchtower, there'd be like this part of the stage where there's like these thrusters where they like launch missiles, and you keep on pressing the button, and the thrusters keep on burning everybody. So like you just keep on standing there, press the button over and over, and you can't do that with Mortal Kombat X, because the cooldown time is going to be a lot longer. But
that game looked nuts, and I mean I never was really a fan of Mortal Kombat. Like I played some of the older ones.
You should play the last one. It was really good.
Okay.
It has the best campaign in any fighting game.
Okay.
Period. I told that to Tony, and Tony was like, okay, I'll try it out. And it was on sale this last week, because it's Steam sale.
Yeah.
It's $5. He bought it. He was like, dude, you're right. This game is awesome. So I'm very excited for Mortal Kombat.
That's good.
You got something?
I've got one last thing.
Yeah,
Alright.
I think I have one more as well.
I was going to mention Drive Club. Like initially, I was not really excited about it because they were just kind of like, yeah, I mean, like it's gonna scratch that like Project Gotham Racing itch, and of like somewhere between like Simcade and like Arcade. So, but like they were, showing like how like dynamic everything is, and like they didn't show any of like the weather footage, but they announced weather, and like they showed it to journalists and stuff like that, and like apparently the weather could range from like a light, like perfectly sunny day to like a downright downpour of like where you could barely see in front of you.
That's cool.
And you just kind of have to like go with the lights that are like around the track and like the tail lights in front of you and stuff like that. And because like there's day and night as well, like another example they mentioned was like a full-on blizzard like in the middle of the night, and like the game like only runs at 30 FPS, which kind of sucks, but like they're able to pull this like full-on dynamic day and night, like clouds change, just like everything. There's wind direction, all these sorts of things, like, and like when the water was spraying with the tires,
Yeah.
like when they're driving like it was like spraying realistically, and like like the person behind you gets like it sucks to be behind someone that's like in front of you driving. You get like that huge spray. So, but like they're saying like going from like a day to night race, like in the middle of the night, like this full blizzard came on and they couldn't see like anything. So like that has me like really hyped. And a lot of people were saying like the handling, like the physics base is like they actually use the real world model, but then they put like the filters on top of it to make it more arcadey. So like this, like every single car still has like their quote unquote unique feel or whatever you want to call that. But like it just like PGR is a great game, and you see the one of the producers of PGR working on this game, and like all the stuff they keep revealing about it. It sounds and looks phenomenal. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't really been looking too much into other racing games recently. The only one that's been on my mind mostly is Project Cars, and then Grid Autosport.
Yeah.
Because Grid 2 is kind of bad from what I mean, because it's supposed to be more like Simcade, like you mentioned earlier, but then they went more just pure arcadey, because like every car drifts, every car just kind of like full speed around corners. You don't really have to plan or do any of your actual driving skills. Doesn't really come into it.
Yeah.
But then Grid Autosport, they kind of promised going back to the original Grid, which I thought was a fantastic game.
Yeah. I thought it was a well-made game. It wasn't my favorite, but I thought it was really well-made.
Yeah.
So.
Vroom.
Stop was like, oh,
You should
cars.
see the picture he has up on. He had Mater.
Are you picture sharing that? Of course you are.
Yes.
He did have Mater on there from Cars. Anyways, last game that I have is Assassin's Creed Unity. For those who don't know already, I am a huge Assassin's Creed
so this
fan.
Assassin's Creed was made with Unity.
Yes. Not really. So they it does look really nice. One of the things that I noticed was that there's now a lot more NPCs on the screen being rendered at the same time, which looks fantastic, and they all look really well, built and modeled and everything. So it should give that dense population feel even more
life.
More life, in this game. But then one thing that they mentioned that they're fixing, which I'm very thankful for, is how you obtain information. So if you remember in Assassin's Creed 3 and
all of them,
Black Flag, well, mostly 3 and Black Flag.
Oh.
Whenever you had to eavesdrop on someone, you'd have to stay inside like this magical circle that kind of showed up, and you had to like stay in it. And if you like left it for like 5 seconds, you failed the mission, and you had to start all over. So now they're changing it so that there's not just one way to get information. So now you'll be able to intercept couriers and get the same information that what you would have gotten if you eavesdrop, or you don't have to stay within a circle now. As long as like you're hidden, you can kind of just, as long as you're close enough, but not like leaving the area, leaving them out of view. So it's not like a circle that you have to stay inside. It's more realistic in that.
But that seems more fun, staying in a circle.
Nope, it was terrible because you'd always have to like go into the bushes and then wait for them to move and then go into the other bushes and then hide behind the building, go behind some people, because they would always like stop and look back at you if you were like falling. So it was terrible. Like I hated all the tailing missions because you'd always have to.
It was really bad in Revelations.
Yeah.
I feel like that was the worst one because like half of the missions were walking.
Yeah, a lot of it was just gathering information, but I think that
swimming through the crowd. You like go up to someone, you just kind of put your hand, like if you stop, you like his hand stays there,
and then the guy's just like,
and the guy's like,
what?
I am actually excited about Assassin's Creed Unity. Like I've been upset with Assassin's Creed for a while. Revelations terrible. 3 not as terrible, but still pretty bad.
I thought 3 was the worst in the series, in my opinion.
I
my
feel-
personal opinion.
I feel like Revelations was
Your
pretty
opinion's
bad. Well,
wrong.
I didn't even play Assassin's Creed Black Flag because of how upset I was with Assassin's Creed. But this new one,
I think you should still play Black Flag just so that you've got the story because they did the
well,
gameplay.
isn't the story that Ubisoft and what was
Abstergo or whatever.
Abstergo are making a simulator or something like that?
It does break the fourth wall, and I kind
Spoiler
of like
alert.
that. Well, you guys did
Yeah,
it right
no.
from the beginning, but I think it's still important because I won't spoil anything, but you kind of want to know what happens after the ending of 3, and you're not really. If you wanted to know what happens, you kind of have to play the fourth one.
Like,
They explain a lot of
What
what's
really
going
got
on.
me excited was seeing the 4-player co-op. That looked really cool.
Yeah.
It reminded me of Splinter Cell co-op,
I
which I really
I
liked.
can honestly say that that's not something I'm going to do, but it's cool. I don't see myself playing
Because
Assassin's
you have
Creed.
no friends.
No, it's just I don't. It's Assassin's Creed. I don't feel like being an assassin with 4 people. I mean, it's one guy on a mission. It's not like let's all sneak in this building together. No, it's
Yes.
one man goes in and completes the job. It's
Co-op makes everything better.
not always.
I want a co-op game.
I don't know this. I want to, and like, man, we used to co-op Splinter Cell. That game was fun.
Yeah.
Like there was like that hallway where like 2 guys were walking by, like one behind the other. I hid like next to the door, and you hid like farther back, and like when they both like got near us, we both just like palmed them in the head, and they're getting knocked. Just like both dropped at the same time. It was such a satisfying feeling. It was so good.
Since we'll talk about Ubisoft, talk about Far Cry 4.
Yes.
When I was watching that trailer with you
Yeah.
in the theater on the Sony press conference,
Yeah.
I just kept on yelling yes, because everything they showed was awesome.
Yeah,
Like,
it was
the,
pretty
The
good.
fact that you can like push the explosive barrels.
Yeah.
Um,
You like kick them and stuff like that, as
Yeah.
opposed to just like hoping someone walks by it.
Yeah.
crossbow definitely good, but like you said, prefer
I'd prefer an
yeah,
actual.
hopefully that's still in the game because it's really awesome. I love the
The
bow.
crossbow is like a 2-shot, like you could load 2 at a time. It
Um,
was like 2 different.
2 triggers.
Yeah. Well, it was like
Oh.
2 of them on there, kind of like one.
Oh, okay.
top on
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else? Like car hijacking.
Yeah, you could do car takedowns now.
That's cool.
So as
Like
opposed to
you jump from one car to another, Vin Diesel style.
Yes.
Wheelman. or I guess more popular
Oh, man.
sleeping dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah, just jump
I love the takedowns on Far Cry 3. They made you feel so awesome. Man, just like that with like the bow and arrow. Oh man, that was so
yeah,
good.
that too. Like they showed that in the trailer, the throwing a knife at a dude.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Those knife takedowns are back.
Yes.
Those are all
I
awesome.
enjoyed using those
like
takedowns.
when he unleashed the elephant and the elephant started rampaging. I'm like, yes. And like,
I hope there's more upgrades now, cause like when I upgraded, I was like, I want more.
Yeah.
mhm.
So
the co-op,
yeah.
awesome. Like the fact that it's the actual single player game that the co-op is in, rather than a completely separate game.
Yeah.
That's great. You know, people can come in whenever.
Not all missions are co-op missions. Though.
Okay,
So like,
but that's still awesome
Yeah.
though.
because
And
like they were talking about the game sharing with like the PlayStation.
yeah,
So like if someone owns like Far Cry 4 on like PS4 or something, they want another one of their PS4 buddies to play it.
Mm.
Like their PS4 buddy downloads like it's a pretty big size program, but it
Oh,
includes
okay.
like all the co-op content.
Oh, that's cool.
So
and they can play for free.
They can play for free.
Nice. So it's kind of like the
Mario
Nintendo
Kart. Yeah,
sharing
yeah,
for the
yeah,
DS.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So I mean, like the DS, they had Mario Kart DS. You could game share it, but it wasn't
Yeah.
like all the content. So,
Yeah.
but it was still really fun. I think it's really good because people play it and like, man, I want to play the story mode.
Yeah.
And if they want the story mode, they've got to buy the game. So
I am very excited for this game. Like, I don't know why I wasn't so excited at first, but like just watching that gameplay footage reminded me how much fun I had with Far Cry
Yeah.
3.
well, because Far Cry 3 went downhill really quickly
Yeah.
near the end. Like near the end, it was just like, okay, guys, we need to get this game out. We need to just like shove a bunch of stuff in here. And yeah, we're done.
I hope that this game is consistent, that the bad guy doesn't die 1/3 into the story and then it turns into some lamer dude. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm really excited for that. You guys have something you want to mention?
No, I'm done. We spent a lot of time on this.
Magica 2 trailer was pretty funny.
That was pretty funny.
Little Big Planet 3.
Yeah, that was. That's actually not made by Media Molecule. Media Molecule is actually making an actual unannounced game. So
They're making an actual game.
well,
I like how
actual,
Yeah,
yeah.
they're making an actual game.
Well, like I've enjoyed every single Little Big Planet. Like, I mean, I've got 1, 2, and then Vita, and the Vita one was really good.
But that's not being a mockery either.
Yeah, that was Sumo Digital. I think this one's being made by Sumo as well. But they added like new characters that like
Toggle
changed it.
was my favorite.
Toggle was pretty funny.
He was like Grimace.
He was like a big sack boy dude.
Uh-huh.
He looked pretty dopey, and then you could
His powers, he's either big or small.
yeah, you toggle between big or small.
That was cool.
And so and it changes like your actual like mass and like weight and stuff like that. So
Huh.
because it's like very physics based.
Yeah.
Like overall, what they showed off reminded me a lot of Trine, because Trine has 3 different characters with
Yeah.
3 different abilities, and there's different ways to solve the puzzles.
Yeah.
This game has 4 different characters now, with each having their own abilities, and the puzzles could be solved in different ways.
That's cool. I like that.
They of course improved the engine even more. All sorts of, I mean, I've loved every single Little Big Planet, and while not many people like it, I mean, like my wife really enjoys it. And like, some of my favorite times playing that game is like my friends and I would do like these skateboard levels. Like it's just like one giant skateboard, and everyone would like try to grab on and hold on for dear life, and like it would like go down this like ridiculous like Hot Wheels type course that some dude made, and we'd all try to like slap each other off of the of the skateboard while we're doing these loops and stuff, and make it to the end. So
Yeah.
it's really fun. You just like nonsense fun that you don't really like in Mario. It's kind of like it gets frustrating.
Yeah, you're kind of going for a specific goal, and then you're not really trying to. Yeah, I know what you're
Yeah, so like when you get like a 4-player platformer that's actually more lenient, and you could like change the rules and stuff like that, and make whatever level you want. It's really fun. So
Yeah,
I'm excited for it.
Like Mario co-op, like it's basically you're ruining it for each other, and this it looks like you're helping each other out.
Well, like
because you can't like jump on somebody's head and make them fall down.
exactly that happens all the time in Mario. Like my friends and I would play, and we did like 4 play, and we were just getting so like we wanted to kill each other by then. And we got to World 8 in New Super Mario Bros. Wii, and we were trying to like it was a volcano level where like there's a giant wall of like lava just like coming at you, and you're jumping on these little tiny platforms that teeter-tot and fall and whatever. And so like one of my friends, Matt, he was being a human shield. Like I was, going full speed, jumping, doing flips, and like Matt was like, "I got you, Ollie." And like my other friends were trying to like ruin me, and he would just like jump and block him in the middle of the air, so they'd both fall in the lava and stuff like that. Because otherwise, we would have never made it. Someone has to go uninterrupted, and just it was ridiculous.
Yeah, like like I said, you're being a detriment to each other.
Yeah.
While from what they showed off in Little Big Planet 3, you're helping each other out. Instead.
It's got that Trine element to it. So.
So the one last thing that I wanted to I mean, we touched on this really quick, but I want to go just a little bit more in depth on it. Rainbow Six. I mean, I have liked Rainbow Six for a long time. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I've enjoyed it for quite a while as
I
well.
did.
Yeah,
I
and
have.
the past 2, the Vegas games, they're not bad games. I like them, but
they're good games. They're not really Rainbow Six.
Like you have Wolverine powers.
What do you mean? Oh,
regenerating
healing.
health. Regenerating health. A lot of the tactics has gone away. It's a lot more action oriented. And the last Rainbow Six trailer was Rainbow Six Patriots, which has turned into this Rainbow Six Siege.
Heavy Rainbow Six.
Yeah, like it was very cinematic, which is like not Rainbow.
That's not Rainbow Six.
Rainbow Six.
Yeah.
It was-
Rainbow Six is like the exact opposite of cinematic.
yeah, it was.
It's like, here's your objective, do it. You know.
It's like, oh, we put this bomb on this CEO guy, and he's gonna run across this bridge, and then he dies, and you're playing as him, but then you end up playing as the Rainbow Six guy, and it's like, what is this? This is dumb.
Stop. Just stop.
No, no, and that now this looks Rainbow Six.
Yeah.
This it's not about going in, guns a blazing. It looks very tactical,
strategic. Yep.
Like
I think the gameplay looks solid, but I mean, as I mentioned earlier, that like faux commentary really put me off. Like, it was just really. He's like, get the hostage out of here! Don't worry, I got him. And he's holding this hostage, like using her as a human shield.
That's what I was about to
and
say.
I was like, no, dude.
The one thing, like I think the reason why they do that is because it's using the same animation as the whatever you call them, terrorists, I guess. They're using the same animation as them, so I'm assuming that's the only reason why. But it should be the other way. Like, if you're playing as the counter-terrorist or the SWAT team, you should
have her.
have her behind you.
Or whoever a hostage.
Yeah.
Because it looked like he was
He's
like choking her.
Well, he had this like hand on it. He's like, "Don't worry, I got him." Or what was the dude's name? I forget. Psycho or something like that. It's Psycho. He's like, where is he now? And like that chick was like a sniper. He's like, "Oh no, Psycho got me." It's like,
I don't think it was Psycho.
I don't know what it was. It's like Cobra or some cheesy cheese ball name. But I hate that faux like commentary. Play the game, let the game speak for itself.
Mhm.
Like, the actual like shooting mechanics and stuff look better.
Yeah.
But like the whole scripted thing is just so annoying because like the dude was like, you know, they busted through the door and like the bad guys like shooting through the smoke and stuff like that, and this guy is like, I'm gonna shoot at the wall.
I think that was cool. The destructible environment was very cool.
No, I mean, like, I'm not talking about that. Just like the whole script
Oh,
thing.
oh,
This is
okay.
bad.
Yeah, because they make it like they're actually in a military situation, and no one plays games
Yeah, no
like
one's.
that.
Everyone's like, oh, what a noob.
Yeah. So I mean,
I'm about
should
to
definitely-
debo him in his face.
Yeah. They should just be more natural.
But like,
I agree
I
with
really like that they're showing that the terrorists were setting up, you know, putting all these traps and stuff like that, you know, like reinforcing the area, and the SWAT team, you know, was like their recon, you know, they had the little recon bot thing coming in.
I don't think that'll work too well in real world. Like, I feel like people will get too acquainted where these things end up coming through and like watch for it and then shoot it when it comes in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm excited for it. I'm excited for Rainbow Six, and like from what people are saying who are playing it, they're saying it's, you know, like Raven Shield, which was
It was a really good one.
people
Probably
consider that
the best.
as the best one. Rainbow Six 3 Raven Shield.
Mm.
So I'm excited.
Me too.
You know, like I said at
just
the
need
beginning
to-
of this podcast, Ubisoft showed a lot of
They just
really
need to stop with
exciting
that
things.
commentary, man. That commentary really put me off.
Yeah.
Because like
I'm pinned!
that little drone came in and like it's like that guy, like the terrorist, looked at it. He's like, oh crap, he saw me, and he just like kept the little drone there, and he's like, it's like, oh no, drone's down. It's like, dude could have cut out, but he just sat there. Oh man, I hate that so much. I hate it.
Overall, E3.
E3 was the best in years.
Yeah, I would agree with that. It was a lot better. It's like, you know, it's been going downhill for the past few years, and then it finally just went uphill.
Like last year, I don't think it was bad, but like there weren't many there weren't many heavy hitters.
I don't think last year was good, to be honest. The only good thing I remember from last year was Sony, and that was because they showed off Microsoft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I remember being really excited about Titanfall, and what else? Destiny looked kind of cool, but I mean overall that was pretty much it.
Yeah.
But this year, like, it's hard to pick which one's my favorite. Like, a lot of really exciting games. I mean, it just seems like if you like games, there's gonna be some good games coming out.
Yes.
Yep.
This is an exciting time to play games.
There's a lot of stuff coming out in 2015.
Yeah.
That's one thing though. Like
With-
everything
with a
was
Wii U.
like no, everything was like 2015.
Which I'm okay with because I'm still behind on games. It gives me time to play, catch up.
Well, then they'll just dump games on us and like,
Yeah.
oh well.
All right, so that was E3. Like, if you want to share what your favorite things were or your least favorite things were, write in to podcast@continues.com. Same with feedback. If you have any questions, comments, any type of feedback, let us know at podcast@continues.com. Just like Tim over here,
Tim.
long time listener of the show. He's been listening since like episode 1.
Sweet.
So this,
Loyal.
yes,
Loyalty at its finest.
Tim's the man. So Tim is here trying to school us on some of the things that we said last week because we talked about Final Fantasy. Okay, so Tim wrote, here's his email. Final Fantasy IV was the first Final Fantasy with ATB system. Freya, the rat lady, was a dragoon,
man.
not a red mage.
This guy's got a school.
Jump is the dragoon's special ability. Red mage mix black
And
and
white,
white
yeah.
magic.
That's right.
Mog is not a dragoon. His special ability is dance. Jump is granted by an accessory in Final Fantasy VI. Arius leaves your party once before she leaves permanently and
I
bites
like
it.
it was more.
Neither time when she leaves does she take her accessory or materia. I don't know.
She takes her gear. She takes her like armor though.
I don't know. I distinctly remember she had her stuff with her. Anyways, he finishes up. Also, your really short-changing Realms sketch ability, it can be used to break the game wide open easily. Regards, Tim. Okay, so first of all, about the ATB system, I think that was something either you or Cody mentioned.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had nothing to do with that. The Freya being a dragoon, not a red mage. Dragoon, red mage.
Which one's? I don't remember which one's Freya.
She's the rat girl.
That's no, I don't remember
She
that.
had. She was wearing red.
Oh. Okay.
That's why I thought she was red mage because she was wearing red.
Yeah, him saying red mage is a mix of black and white. That makes. I remember now. Yeah.
Okay.
I remember that now.
Yeah.
Mog is not a dragoon. Yes.
Well, but I do. I mean, like, it's been a while since I played the game,
Yeah.
but I do remember him having jump and like just me smashing people. That's why I thought it was his ability, because it's been just a while. Like I said about Arius, I remember her taking stuff.
I thought she
but
took armor. I know for sure she took
something.
armor.
Armor and weapon, maybe? I don't know.
I don't know. I've got it on my Vita.
I
should
don't
boot
know.
it up right now.
I never played many kind of
Also,
Final Fantasy games.
As far as me shortchanging Realm, she was the painting girl.
Mhm.
All I gotta say is, she was uninteresting. Come on now. Her and her grandpa, no one cared.
I barely remember.
I didn't
her
care.
either.
There was just so many cooler characters.
I
Edgar,
just remember going through
Strill.
that. I just remember going through that crazy town where it's like raining in Final Fantasy VI,
Mhm.
and I because I was so young when I played it, I really hated going through there.
Because the one that will, like, every time you get attacked by a giant.
I think so. But like you get attacked by different things in different areas. Like there's like different you like go through buildings, I think, or like the fire escapes or something. I don't know. Maybe my memory is just.
It's been a while
It's-
since I played. It's been, I don't know, maybe
It was like brown buildings. I do remember the giants, but like
it's been either late 90s or early 2000s since I played, so you know what?
I was a kid when I played.
Tim is 100% right, Ali is 200% wrong, and I am 150% stop.
That's a lot of stuff.
Yes.
Explains a lot.
Yes.
Just keep rolling with this stuff.
Yes. So let's wrap this up. Give a few shout outs. As usual, Nathan Becker. You can find him facebook.com/ectogemia or his SoundCloud account, which is soundcloud.com/ectogemia. He made the intro song So if you like that, that's him. He also, I'm for the past few weeks I've been putting Beware the Bully music for the end because I paid a lot of money for that music, so I'm going to use it as much as I can. So I'm going to do it again this week. The outro music is also made by him. It's from the Beware the Bully soundtrack. So check him out. I want to give a shout out to Linear Radio. They did a video on Beware the Bully. So
Nice. You have your own documentary now.
No, it's a more like a gameplay commentary.
Oh.
Or a let's play, as the kids call it. You call them let's plays too.
Yeah. I mean, because that's just what the titles have been.
Let's
since the
play
beginning.
is such a bad term.
It makes it sound like that everyone's involved in playing.
Yeah.
No, it's like watch me play. Yeah.
That's a better title.
It's a gameplay commentary. Simple,
Pay me money while you watch me play games.
Ads.
Through ads, yeah.
I also want to give a shout out to New Eden Radio, which, unlike Linear Radio, which they are a YouTube channel, I don't know, I guess they don't know what radio actually is. New Eden Radio actually is a radio station. They're an online radio station. I had an interview with that went on their radio station last Monday, which I missed because I was distracted by E3. But if you missed it like I did, you can catch it again this Friday, June 20th. It's during the 3 p.m. hour. Just tune in, New Eden Radio. On their website you can get to their radio station. And sometime within that hour, the hour time frame, I'm going to have an interview that goes up. I get interviewed on Out of Continues, get asked questions on Return of Etheria, and Beware the Bully. So,
cool.
Yes. Pretty sweet. So check them out, New Eden Radio. So if you... do you guys have anything to plug? Any...
Nope.
Shout-outs?
Shout out to Kevin Trahan.
Shout out to Ali.
I want to give a shout to the great Kali.
Great Kali.
The great Kali. You know what? I'm going to screen share this real quick. Great Kali. Let me get this up.
Apparently that's us.
That view image. Screen share.
Oh, man.
Start screen share. There we go. Alright, so here's the great Kali. Alright, I want to give a shout out to the great Kali. The biggest hater on the internet. So,
I thought that was Chad Warden.
no, Chad Warden ain't a hater. Chad Warden recognize what's real. Real recognize real, and Chad Warden real. So if you enjoy what you've been hearing, support us by liking us on Facebook, following us on Twitter, leave an iTunes review, or you can contact by email. It is podcast@outofconfused.com. All these can be found on the website, www.outofconfused.com. The video goes up on YouTube. If I remember to do it, it will go up on Wednesday. Otherwise, it will go up some other time. But it will eventually go up. So that's youtube.com/outofcontinues. There should also be a link at outofcontinues.com there. You can also give me a tweet. I am at SayedStafa. That is at SAYEDSTAFA.
You can tweet at me as well at Phosphor112. That is PHOSPHOR112.
And I'm also on the Twitters.
The Twitter web.
The Twitter web as KS Trehan. That's KSTREHAN.
So, in closing, I would like to thank my guest host, the great Kali.
Thank you for having us.
Kevin.
Yeah.
Ali. The great Kali.
And it's always a pleasure to be on the podcast.
It's always the pleasure to be considered a hater, I guess.
Yeah.
And with that said, I'm your host, Stafa. Peace out, everybody.
Peace out.
E3.
Beast out E3.
I'm tired of sitting. That was a long one.
Let me hold on. Let me stop the video.